Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium in Tucson, Arizona. Hi, I'm Alan Scott, and in just a few minutes, we'll have Game 3 of the Pecos League South Division Finals between the Roswell, New Mexico Invaders and the Tucson Saguaros. This may not be the 7th game of the World Series to the world, but it is the series conclusion for these two teams. It's all tied up at 1 apiece in the best-of-3 series. The winner will be moving on to play Trinidad, Colorado in the Pecos League Championship Finals. Should Roswell get the win tonight, the series will start tomorrow in New Mexico. If the Saguaros come out on top, the series against the Trigger will begin right here in Kino Stadium on Tuesday. In this series opener, Ryan Retz lofted a ball to the base of the wall in right field to score Randy Keene from second base in the bottom of the 13th inning with 2 outs even to get an 8-7 win. Last night it was an outstanding pitching performance by Blake Oliver and Eric Gleese that put Roswell tied up and put them in the winner's column 2-1 rather. Over in the North Division, Trinidad, Kansas, that should be Trinidad, Colorado, opened with a 2-run win over Garden City, Kansas. The Wind returned the favor in the second game, again by 2 runs. Now, last night, it was in doubt until the 6th inning when Trinidad exploded for 4 runs, then did it again in the 8th. And they earned a trip to the Pecos League Championship Series by a score of 11-1. So that's where we are tonight, getting ready to go for the tiebreaker here. First pitch, thrown by Cameron Cox, is a strike. Cox 6-2 on the season, .527 earned run average, and a whip of 1.2. Second pitch is high and away, and it will be a ball. So 1-1 count to the leadoff hitter, Cody Bishop. Bishop is 5 for 12 in this series. Swung on and hit out towards Rampone, a 2-hopper. And the second baseman for the Saguaros gathers it up and will get it over to first base for the first out of the top of the first inning. Luis Martini, the second baseman, will be batting second, and then Cody Kaufman will be in the third spot. Martini on the season, .338. In the series, 3 for 11, .273 the batting average that he has recorded here in this series. In the series, 3 for 11, .273 the batting average that he has recorded here. Martini looks at the first pitch from Cox, and it is outside for a ball. Martini looks at the first pitch from Cox, and it is outside for a ball. Called strike 1-1. I did look into the dimensions of the ballpark in Roswell, New Mexico, and the reason that there are 4 players that have 20 home runs or more, next pitch is a ball, is because the fences in the high school field they play on in Roswell are about 20 feet shy of the fences here in Tucson. Outside corner called strike, and the count goes to 2-2. Manager of the Invaders said that they would have won on Saturday, checked that on Thursday night, had they been in their own ballpark, because there were about 4 balls hit to the warning track here. Changeup swung on, missed. First strikeout for Cameron Cox. Had they been in their own ballpark, because there were about 4 balls hit to the warning track here. Cameron has started 4 games actually, against the Invaders. Back on June the 5th, Roswell won it 20-14 when Cox wound up giving up 11 runs, or rather 10 runs on 11 hits in just 5 innings of work. The next time that he faced the Invaders, first pitch swinging by Kaufman for a strike. Second game was on the 20th of June, and that game Roswell won 5-4. Cameron was not the gentleman who got the win or the loss in that particular case. And then fast forward to July the 3rd, wrapped out towards Rampone. Rampone makes a nice job of throwing the ball, catching the ball rather, on the backside, and then threw it high. And Ryan Retz did an outstanding job of coming up, grabbing the ball, and applying the tag as Cody Kaufman went by. Cody is still down, as a matter of fact. I don't know whether it's in frustration or whether he banged himself on the bag there. Manager for the Invaders over to look at him, and he is coming off limping just a little bit on the right side there. So Rampone made an absolutely incredible stop, going far to his right to get the ball, and then threw it offline. And Retz did an equally outstanding job of grabbing the ball and applying the tag. So the top of the first, no runs, no hits, and no errors. 10 pitches in the inning for Cameron Cox, so he is off to a relatively decent start, contrary to the first time that he met the Invaders in New Mexico, in which they really clubbed him around a bit. So for the Saguaros, they will be facing Ethan Rosebrook. Rosebeck has a 4-0 record with a 2.45 ERA and a whip of 1.1. So statistically, he looks stronger than Cameron Cox. Has a 4-0 record with a 2.45 ERA. Ethan started the game for Roswell on the 21st of June, a game that Roswell won rather handily, 16-5. In that game, Tanner Geisel went 4 for 5, but Cody Bishop of the Invaders equaled that, well, not equaled it, but kept pace with it, 4 for 6. And Rosebeck did wind up being the winning pitcher in that particular game. And outside of that, that's the only head-to-head meeting between Rosebeck and the Tucson Saguaros. It'll be Michael Morris, Michael Rampone, and Ryan Retz leading it off here. In the fourth spot for the Saguaros tonight, Jimmy Heck. Jesse Baker is back behind the plate in his usual position, and he is the number 5 hitter. And Adam Urbania has been brought in. He has been on the ouchie list ever since the All-Star break a couple of weeks ago, maybe close to 3 weeks now. In the series, he is 0 for. He came in twice as a pinch hitter. So hopefully Adam will be able to dust off and get things going. Then Tanner Geisel, Cameron Cox, the pitcher, and Brunel Daly catching the infield for the Roswell, New Mexico Invaders. Cody Kaufman at third, Brett Balkin at second, Louis Martini at short. Check that. We'll get it turned around in a second. Brett Balkin is at short. Louis Martini is at second. And at first, Joey Miller. First pitch misses for a ball. Morris got 2 consecutive hits to start off the game last night, and then did not stick with it. Saguaros lost 2-1. High and away. Last night we saw Blake Oliver, who had an elevated ERA, 6.88, and he came in and pitched 7 brilliant innings, giving up only 1 run. Next pitch is a called strike. And then Eric Gleese came in and shut the Saguaros down, and that's where we are right now. 1 game apiece in this best-of-3 series to see who goes on from the south. Swung on, fouled off to the left side. The count will even at 2-2. You can talk statistics all you want, but you got to play them. And that was very, very evident last night, because you would have expected Blake Oliver to have a lot of trouble, and he did not. Reaching out and knocking one into left field. Boy, that was a great piece of hitting for Michael Morris. Did not get a very good swing on the ball, but poked it into left field. So the first base runner and the top of the first inning found nothing for Roswell, but now in the bottom of the first, leadoff hitter gets a base hit, and Michael Rampone will come in. Rampone only 1 for 7 in the series. He walked several times yesterday, batting 143 in the series, 367, however, on the year. So we'll see if the Saguaros are going to try to get on the board first here. Swung and a sharp shot to Balkin to second for 1. Back to first. Very close, and they are going to call him out at first base. The umpire, however, is coming over, and he is safe at first base. Boy, this is the second time that we have seen this action. Mark Good came out from home and signaled safe. Well, now let's see. Rampone is coming back. Well, apparently it must have been called a foul ball. Why then would Morris be standing on second base? Rampone is coming back. Well, apparently it must have been called a foul ball. Well, this is extremely confusing. Why then would Morris be standing on second base? Rampone is still up there. There must have been some sort of interference call, and that places Morris on second base. No count to Rampone, at least according to the scoreboard. The next pitch he swings on and fouls off. And the only thing that I can think of is some sort of interference call. Not exactly sure where it came from, but the situation is Michael Morris at second base and Michael Rampone with an 0-1 count still at the plate. Swung on, fouled off to the right side. Neither manager came out to argue, so apparently whatever the call was correct. Swung on, fouled off to the right side. Well, there have been a couple of things here in this series that I have certainly wondered about. We've got some lightning going on near the foothills in the east of us. Well, there have been a couple of things here. The thunderstorms are all around us, but right now we've dodged the bullet. Curveball swung on, hit high to center field. Cody Bishop drifting over to his left and right center, and Morris will take a shot at it. Play at third, he's safe. Curveball swung on, hit high to center field. Cody Bishop drifting over to his left and right center, and Morris will take a shot at it. Play at third, he's safe. The ball was not hit that deep. Cody Bishop got over and did a good job of getting underneath it. As an outfielder, you're coached to get behind the ball and be moving forward when you take it, and that's exactly what Cody did. But the fleet-footed Michael Morris, the shortstop for the Saguaros, just beat the throw at third, and we have one out and a runner at third, and Ryan Retz is up to bat. They take a play or do an appeal at second base, checking to see if the umpire would agree that Morris left early, but he was signaled safe by the base umpire, Ryan Hemner. And so here we are with one out in the bottom of the first inning. First pitch to Retz is fouled off to the right side. Runner on third, Michael Morris. Morris got a base hit. Nice bit of hitting, reached out on a pitch that was on the outside part of the plate and popped it into left field. Then something happened with Michael Rampone, and somehow Morris got to second base. Then Rampone flew out, just misses inside. And the count goes to 1-1. All of that aside, we have a runner on third for the Saguaros and Ryan Retz at bat. Retz is .345 in the regular season. He's gone 3 for 11 here against the Roswell Invaders, and he hits it into center field, and Tucson will draw first blood. Retz is .345 in the regular season. He's gone 3 for 11 here against the Roswell Invaders, and he hits it into center field, and Tucson will draw first blood. So Ryan Retz gets an RBI. And the Saguaros in the bottom of the first inning up 1-0. So Ryan Retz gets on the season, these two teams have played 13 games. And the Saguaros in the bottom of the first inning. And it is 8 games in favor of on the season. Well, let's see here. They were winners of 7 of 12. And then they've played 2 each, so we've got
8 games in favor of on the season. Well, let's see here. They
8 and 6 on the season, including the playoffs. First pitch is a ball to Jimmy Heck. Heck batting .426 on the year, and in this series he is 3 for 9, and one of those 3 was a rocket-powered home run to left field for 3 runs. That happened in the first game of the series.
And in this series, he is 3 for
Runner
9.
goes, swung on, and hit into right field. The hit and run was on, and the runner at second base turns and goes to third. We have runners on first and third, and still only 1 out. So the Saguaros doing a few things that they have not done with great consistency in the past, and in this case, a hit and run, as Retz took off for second, and Jimmy Heck did a nice job of just reaching out and poking the ball into right center field, and that will bring up Jesse Baker. Heck and Baker both have home runs in this series. Baker has a solo blast also in the first inning, or first game rather.
And that will bring up Jesse Baker.
Jesse, however, is 2 for 10 in the series.
Has a solo blast.
Both teams have scored 9 runs in the series. The Saguaros have accounted for 17 hits to get their 9 runs, while the Invaders have 21 hits. First pitch inside corner called strike.
The Saguaros have accounted for 17 hits to get their 9 runs in the series, while the Invaders have 21 hits. First pitch inside corner called strike.
First and third, 1 out. Waved at a pitch way outside to Jesse Baker and missed it. Slider missed away.
First and third, 1 out. Waved at a pitch way outside to Jesse Baker.
Thunderclouds ranging all the way up and down the Catalina Range, which is north and east of us. The ball hits the runner at third base, and that will be an out.
Ranging all the way up and
No,
down
by
the
golly, he
Catalina
was in
Range,
foul
which is
territory.
north and east of us. The ball hits,
But he wasn't that far in foul territory, and Ryan Retz
and that will be
is
out.
limping around. It looked to me like it hit him in the midsection, but I don't believe that that's the situation,
North and east of us. The ball hits, but he wasn't that far in foul territory.
as he is favoring his right leg a little bit.
Is limping around.
Last night when they had Retz in left field,
believe that that's the situation.
for part of the game, Tommy Lyons came in and played at first base. Retz favoring his right knee is where it got him apparently. Next pitch is way outside, and the count goes to 1 and 2.
Tommy Lyons came in and played
A hit, a fly out,
Retz favoring his right knee
and
is
2
what
hits
got him apparently.
have put the Saguaros ahead 1-0. Infield for the Invaders we'll get to in just a minute, as the 1-2 pitch is on the way and fouled off right at the plate. Jim Smith unable to hang on to it, and the count will remain the same. It's Kaufman at third tonight. He was behind the plate last night, and on Thursday he was at third. Boy, he turned in a sparkling play at third base, as a matter of fact. Brett Balkin is at his usual spot at shortstop. Louis Martini going the whole way at second base, and Joey Miller over at first. 1-2 pitch. Hit high to center field. Retz is beginning to tag up, and it is deep enough that he will score. So the second run coming in for the Saguaros on a sacrifice fly to center field for Jesse Baker.
And it is deep enough that he will score. So the second run coming in for the Saguaros on a sacrifice fly to center field for Jesse Baker.
Jimmy Heck stayed at first base as they cut off the throw, so he had no opportunity to advance. And that will bring up Adam Urbania, batting in the 6th spot, still trying to shake off some of that dust from his injury in the All-Star game. Swung on and hit high to right field and shallow. Woodard in to get it, and he puts it away for the 3rd out of the inning, but not before the Saguaros get 2 across, and after 1 full inning to play, Tucson 2 and Roswell nothing.
3rd out of the inning, but not before the Saguaros get 2 across, and after 1 full inning to play,
3 hits in the inning,
and Roswell nothing.
and of course 3 for the game so far, because This is the first at-bat for the Saguaros here. 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning.
In the inning. And, of course, 3 for the game so far because this is the first at-bat for the
20
Saguaros.
pitches in first inning
In the bottom of the
for
first inning.
Ethan Rosbeck. And the Invaders will come up and try to get something back here with the 4th, 5th, and 6th hitters in the lineup. Joey Miller,
for Ethan Rosbeck.
Roche Woodard, and Jim Smith.
Invaders will come up and try to get something back here with the 4th, 5th, and 6th hitters in the lineup. Joey Miller, Roche Woodard, and Jim Smith. Invaders will come up and try to get something back here with the 4th, 5th, and 6th hitters in the lineup. Joey Miller, Roche Woodard, and Jim Smith.
Miller up to bat, and he has had himself a series. 5 base hits and 10 official trips to the plate. On the season, Joey batting .427. It was his 2-run single last night in the 3rd inning that put the 2 runs on the board. The Saguaros had gotten 1 run in the first inning, and the rest of the way nobody did nada, as it ended up 2-1. Second pitch misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes on Joey Miller. The third base checked at the first baseman for the Invaders tonight. He'll be followed by Woodard and Smith. 2-0 pitch belted to left field, but foul. 2 balls and 1 strike. Lights beginning to take over here at Kino Stadium. And as we are shortening the days somewhat, in that first inning we don't have any sun fields anymore. 340 down either line. The pitch swung on and fouled down the left field side again. 2-2. Dimensions of the ballpark, 340 down each line. Straightaway right and left, 375. In the gaps, 388, and straightaway 405. And the dimensions here are about 20 feet farther than the dimensions of the Roswell playing field. 3-2 on the inside miss for a ball. 3-2 to Joey Miller. Miller, the leadoff hitter here in the second inning. They went out 1-2-3 in the first inning. Cox getting a strikeout among those 3. Miller, the leadoff hitter here in the gets away from him. Looked like he tried to throw a slider and missed it badly. So the first walk is given up by Cox here in the top of the second inning. Gets away from him. Looked like he tried to throw a slider and missed it badly. So the first walk is given up by Cox here in the top of the second inning. Roche Woodard, the right fielder, finished the season batting .316. He's 0 for 4 here in the series. First pitch, a called strike. Roche Woodard, the right fielder, finished the season batting .316. He's 0 for 4 here in the series. First pitch, a called strike. Out the set is Cox, looked at first, come to the plate, lifted high to center field, but it is directly at Burnell Daly. Comes in about 5 or 6 steps and gathers it in for the out. Out the set is Cox, looked at first, come to the plate, lifted high to center field, but it is directly at Burnell Daly. Comes in about 5 or 6 steps. Jim Smith is the next hitter. He's 0 for 6. Was the catcher in the first game and then was a pinch hitter in last night's game.
Jim Smith is the next hitter.
Didn't get anything going, but he certainly is not somebody to take lightly.
In the first game,
without regard to the fact that the fences are a little bit shorter where the invaders play. Mr. Smith has certainly appointed himself well with the long ball.
The fences are a little bit shorter where the invaders play.
First pitch swinging, fouls off to the right side and out of play.
Appointed himself well with the long ball.
Mr. Smith has 15 home runs on the season.
And out of play.
Behind in the count 0-1 here. Top of the second inning, a runner on via a walk, one out with a fly ball to center field. And Jim Smith, the catcher, 0-1. This one lifted high to the right side. Looks like Rampone will get over to get it. And he does, in fact, catch it in foul territory.
And Jim Smith, the catcher, 0-1.
So a pop out to the second baseman, Rampone. Accounts for the second out here in the bottom tenth at the top of the second inning. Rene Morita on the season 346, playing left field tonight as he normally has. 2 for 11 on the series.
At the top of the second inning, Rene Morita
From the left side against the right-hander Cameron Cox.
left field tonight as he normally
High and
has.
away for a ball.
2 for 11 on the series. From the left side against the right-hander Cameron Cox.
Joey Miller is not a threat to run, has a very, very short lead at first base. Swung on and lifted into left field, and it's going to drop in front of Adam Urbania. Urbania over, gathers it in, and gets it into the infield, and that will hold Joey Miller at second base. But the invaders with a runner in scoring position after giving up 2 in the bottom of the first inning, trying to get at least one of them back here in the top of the second. First base hit against Cameron Cox, and that will bring up the pitcher spot. Ethan Rosbeck batting 200 on the season. He was one of the few pitchers that did not get in that game on Thursday night.
Ethan Rosbeck batting 200 on the season.
Something like 17 pitchers were used in that game.
Pitchers that did not get in that game on Monday night.
First pitch swinging, misses.
Something like 17 pitchers.
Infield for the Saguaros, Geisel at third, Morris at short, Michael Rampone second, and Ryan Retz at first. We'll check the outfield in a second. This one hit right back to Cox. He gathers it up, goes about halfway to first base before he underhands it to Getz for the out. And that will be the end of the inning. So 1-3 out. One hit given up here in the inning. And that's a total of 1 so far. No runs in the top of the second inning. After an inning and a half, it is Roswell on the short end of a 2-0 count to the Tucson Saguaros.
So far, no runs in the top of the second inning after an inning and a half.
14 pitches in the inning for 24 on the ball game so far. And we will mosey on off to the bottom of the second inning, and it'll be the bottom of the order for the Saguaros. Tanner Geisel, Cameron Cox, the pitcher, and Brunel Daly.
And we will mosey on off to the bottom of the second inning, and it'll be the bottom of the order for the Saguaros. Tanner Geisel, Cameron Cox, the pitcher, and Brunel Daly. And we will mosey on off to the bottom of the second inning, and it'll be the bottom of the order for the Saguaros. Tanner Geisel, Cameron Cox, the pitcher, and Brunel Daly.
Tanner Geisel stepping in for the Saguaros as we keep a wary eye to the east, in which a rain cloud seems to be kind of closing in on the Tucson area. In many cases, the rain showers occur closer to the Catalina Mountains that are in the background of the shot that you're looking at. So, but there are thunder showers in the area, so we'll kind of keep an eye on it. Hopefully get this game in. First pitch is a called strike at the letters, and Geisel kind of steps back and goes, "What?"
But there are thunder showers in the area, so we'll kind of keep an eye on it.
They were doing a lot of "what" last night by both sides, as the home plate umpire last evening had really squeezed the strike zone.
They were doing a lot of "what" last night.
0-1 pitch. Got it in the outside corner. That's where they generally work Geisel, because he and Ryan Retz have a rather open stance. Retz much more than Geisel, as we see a few more lightning bolts pop off over the right field fence, way over it. It's not right outside. Swung on and missed for a strikeout as they work that outside part of the plate. Got a couple of them called out there, and then that set Geisel up to go out there again, and he did. So it is the first strikeout recorded by Rosbeck here in the bottom of the second inning. Cameron Cox, the pitcher, 381 batting average during the season, so as a stick man, he is not to be sneezed at. First pitch is a ball. 1-0. Cody Kaufman well back at third base. And of course the middle infielders are on the outfield grass. This one hits sharply right out to Luis Martini. He gets a big hop and gets it over to first base for the out. Second out here in the bottom of the second inning, and that'll bring up the ninth man in the order, Burnell Daly. Daly in that ninth position came through the season batting .314. However, he's only 1 for 8 in the series, and he has had trouble with that outside pitch, so we'll watch and see where Jim Smith sets up, and he goes right outside. Pitch is right at the spot. Nice job by Rosbeck. Gets the called strike, hit the glove that Smith put up there. So they are going to be working Geisel and Daly away. This time they come inside and hit him.
Gets the called strike, hit the glove that Smith put up there.
Don't have a lot of advanced scouting in these independent leagues, but that's something that a scout would have picked up on, that Daly had a horrible time with the ball on the outside part of the plate. And what basically you do is you keep going to that spot until he proves that he can get it. And in this particular case, they came inside and a little bit too far inside, so the very swift-footed Burnell Daly is at first base. And Burnell obviously has the wheels to get to second base. That brings up the top of the order, Michael Morris, who got a base hit when he first came up last inning. Swung on and fouled to the screen for a strike. Morris 4 for 11 in the series now. From the left side.
Swung on and fouled to the screen for a strike.
Burnell has stolen 19 of 26. Not a lot of stealing here in the series, as Rosbeck whirls and throws to first to remind Mr. Burnell Daly that he is aware he is there.
19 of 26. Not a lot of stealing here in the series, as Rosbeck whirls and throws to first.
0-1 pitch to Morris. The runner goes. The throw is down to second base, and it's high, and Daly is in there safely.
0-1 pitch to Morris. The runner goes. The throw is down to second base.
Jim Smith was kind of handcuffed on that because the ball was high and away. Not exactly sure whether it was a pitch out or not. If it had been a pitch out, you needed to put a little bit more mustard on the ball there. But all of that aside, man on second base, 2 outs, and a drag bunt attempted by Morris, and he is going to have the ball roll foul. Cody Kaufman, a very, very intelligent play there. The ball was popped in the air, and from the bat, it apparently had a strong spin, So as it hit the grass, it took a hard left turn, and Kaufman, to his credit, recognized that and danced away from the ball. And we will come back with a 1-ball-and-2-strike count against Michael Morris, the leadoff hitter for the Saguaros. First base is obviously open. Swung on and hit out towards Martini. He's getting a lot of business tonight. Gets it over to first base, and that will end the inning. No runs across for the Saguaros, and so after 2 full innings of play, it is Tucson 2 and Roswell nothing coming to bat in the top of the 3rd inning, and they will send Balkin, the shortstop, and then to the top of the order, Cody Bishop and Luis Martini.
Send Balkin, the shortstop, and then to the top of the order, Cody Bishop and Luis Martini.
To the top of the 3rd, 9-1-2 will be the batting order here for Roswell. Brett Balkin, the shortstop, 340 on the year, but he is only 2 for 10 here in the series.
To the top of the 3rd, 9-1-2 will
rocking
be
and
the
throwing
batting
is
order here
Cameron
for
Cox,
Roswell.
and catching that
Brett
outside
Balkin, the
corner for
shortstop,
strike 1.
340 on the year, but he is only 2
Tried to
for
get
10
some
here
weather
in the
radar
series.
on our monitor screen
Rocking
here, and
throwing is
was
Cameron Cox,
unsuccessful,
and
so I have to go
catching
back
that
and
outside
try it
corner for
between
strike
innings.
1.
But a couple of big, ugly, dark clouds are moving in from the east. This one, one hopper out to Rampone, takes it about a step and a half out into the outfield and gets the ball over to first base for the first out of the top of the 3rd. Cody Bishop grounded out in the first inning to Rampone. Both of our second basemen tonight are getting a lot of business. Bishop on the year, 429, and he is 5 for 12 in the series. So certainly someone to be reckoned with here from the left side against the right-hander Cox. And the shift is on. Changeup drops right in there for a called strike. Geisel at third base is kind of playing in the hole and up on the grass. Morris behind second base and to the right of second, actually. Next pitch, fastball inside, misses, 1-1. Rampone is about 3 or 4 steps out on the outfield grass, and Retz has his heels. Now he moves in a little bit on the outfield grass as well. This one slapped hard to Daly, and he has to hold up. It dies just in front of him, and a base hit. I tell you, we were talking with the manager of the Invaders, and he said that Daly has outstanding range, and I thought for a moment that Brunell might get there on that one, but it was kind of a sinking line drive, and that will put Cody Bishop on first base and bring up Luis Martini. Martini, a strikeout victim in the first inning, is 3 for 12 now on the series, 3 for 11 coming in. On the season, 338.
Martini, a strikeout victim
With
in
one
the
out,
first inning.
seems a little unlikely that they'll try a bunt.
Well, 3 for 12
But Tanner
now in
Geisel
the
has a
series.
tendency at third base for the Saguaros to
On the
play
season,
pretty deep.
338.
First pitch misses
With one
low
out,
for a ball.
seems a little unlikely that they'll try a bunt. But Tanner Geisel has a tendency at third base for the Saguaros to play pretty deep. First
Cody
pitch
Bishop
misses
is not
low
a
for
particular
ball.
threat to go, although he has stolen 5 without being caught. Has kind of a medium lead at first base. Keep an eye on him to see if they change. They do change. He's going. The throw down. Baker put it right on the money, and he got him. Oh, my goodness sakes. You could not have drawn up a better trajectory for Jesse Baker to get that ball. It landed right at the perfect spot. And Cody Bishop is out 2-4 for the second out of the inning. My. That was as good as it gets. It was right on the money. And all Michael Rampone had to do was catch it and lay his glove there. This is struck out towards Morris, and Morris boots it. Rampone picks it up and tries to get it to first base in time, but it will be an error on the Tucson shortstop, first error of the ball game, and that will bring up Cody Kaufman. Kaufman needs to file a police report because between Michael Rampone and Ryan Retz, Kaufman was out at first base on a spectacular play at both ends. Rampone going far to his right to get a hold of the ball, and then throwing the ball offline at first base. Retz gathered it in and applied the tag. Change up, lifted high to the left side, but it'll make the seats. Tanner Geisel goes over and takes a look at it, and the ball ping-pongs around the seats along the left field line, and it's a strike. Wow, that lightning strike was a little bit closer than they have been here. I'll try to get the, don't use the Weather Channel, use the underground Weather Channel, they call it. But for some reason it would not click in, so we'll see what happens here. Swung on, boy, I tell you what. Cody Kaufman did not get cheated on that swing. Fences were creeping in, and he was swinging for him. 0-2 with 2 outs in the top of the second inning.
Cody Kaufman did not get cheated on
Luis Martini is on first base by way of an error. Ball misses. 1 and 2 now.
Luis Martini is on first base.
Luis, surprisingly, is not a threat to run. He's only stolen 1 this year. Change-up gets him swinging.
Luis, surprisingly, is not a threat to run. He's only stolen 1 this year.
Nothing in the top of the third inning for Roswell, and after 2.5, it is Tucson 2 and Roswell nothing. 1 hit in the inning for the second inning given, or the second hit given up by Cameron Cox.
Roswell, and after 2.5, it is Tucson 2 and Roswell nothing.
11 pitches in the inning for Cameron, and so he is sliding right along. And we will go to the bottom of the third, and for the Saguaros, it will be 2, 3, and 4, Michael Rampone, Ryan Retz, and Jimmy Heck.
And we will go to the bottom of the third, and for the Saguaros, it will be 2, 3, and 4, Michael Rampone, Ryan Retz, and Jimmy Heck.
Michael Rampone stepping in. He has been part and parcel to 4 outs here in the ball game and has earned a star, meaning that he had a very fine defensive play. He steps in against Ethan Rosbeck. Rosbeck to the plate, and it's fouled off to the right side. Saguaros leading 2-0 here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Roswell has yet to put anybody across. First inning, Rampone flew out to center field, and it was just deep enough. This one swung on and hit high to left center. Drifting over to get it is the left fielder Morita, and he gathers it in for the out.
And it was just deep enough. This one swung on and hit high to left center.
The fly out to center field for Rampone last inning, or first inning, allowed Michael Morris to get to third base. And then he came around on the base hit by Ryan Retz to score the first run of the inning. And then Retz himself came around. And Ryan is up there now, base hit and a run scored. First pitch to him is outside. Ryan 4 for 12 in the series to this point. 333. Swung on, lifted way up there. Really don't want to have a ball going that high because it might puncture a cloud and get rain to come down. Boy, that was a sky-high fly out to left field. Morita took it in without any trouble. 4 pitches for Rosbeck here in this inning and 2 outs. So Jimmy Heck will get up there and see if he can at least work Rosbeck for a few more pitches here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, with the Saguaros leading it by a 2-0 count. Heck really clubbed one out of here Thursday night. Man, I tell you what, if there hadn't been a wall out there, that puppy'd still be going. First pitch outside with the ball. Heck got a base hit in the first inning. That drove Retz around to third base, and he ultimately scored. This one wrapped out to Balkin at short. The throw over to Miller, and the easy 1-2-3 inning is in the books. The Saguaros getting nothing, and after 3 full, it's Tucson 2, Roswell, New Mexico nothing. No hits in the inning, 3 total for the Saguaros on the game. 6 pitches, 2 pitches to each of the 3 hitters. So a total of 37 pitches turned in by Rosbeck to this point. And we go to the top of the 4th inning on a game that is moving right along. Cameron Cox will be coming out for his 4th inning of work, and he will face 4, 5, and 6, Joey Miller, Roche Woodard, and Jim Smith. Face 4, 5, and 6, Joey Miller, Roche Woodard, and Jim Smith. It'll be Joey Miller, Roche Woodard, and Jim Smith, the 3 batters that are scheduled here in the 4th inning. They were the same 3 batters scheduled in the 2nd inning, and Joey Miller got a walk, got as far as second base, and that was as far as it went.
Three batters that are scheduled here in the fourth inning.
Ball got loose
They were the same three batters
out in
the
left
second
field.
inning.
Urbania's over there
Joey
to
Miller
get it up
got
to
a
the kids
walk
that
as far as
are
second
rolling
base.
up and down the grassy area over there. Something about kids and sloping grass.
Out in left field. Urbania's over there.
They're out there having a great time.
Are rolling up and down the grassy area.
Saw one of the local TV channels down here doing some recording. First pitch on the outside corner for a called strike to Joey Miller. Unfortunately, they don't check in with me to let me know who's doing it. We've gotten nice coverage from Channel 13 and Channel 9 the last couple of nights. Next pitch misses outside. It's 1-1.
Check in with me to let me know who's doing it. We've got nice coverage.
So hopefully it's one or the other of them. I suspect that I ought to begin to know the camera people after a while, but have not gotten to that point as a newbie in town yet. Way outside, 2-1. As I mentioned, Miller walked in the second inning on a 3-2 count. Right now it's 2-1. Miller on the year is another one of those players that has been the beneficiary of the smaller field in Roswell. They bounce her out to Michael Rampone, and we have a busy second base position on both sides of the field tonight, as Louis Martini and Michael Rampone over there at second base have been busy little beavers here this evening. Rochelle Woodard up. He flew out to Burnell Daly in center field, his first time up. 0 for 4 now, 0 for 5 on the series. First pitch just misses outside.
He flew out to Burnell Daly in center field, his first time up.
Very, very dark sky here in Tucson, Arizona.
On the series. First pitch
Swung on and bounded out towards Morris. He gathers it up, does not set his feet, and gets a low throw to first base, but it is picked up by Ryan Retz.
Swung on and bounded out towards Morris. He gathers it up, does not set
So
his
the
feet,
possibility
and gets a
here
low
with
throw to
6
first
pitches
base,
thrown
but
by
it is picked
Rosbeck
up by Ryan Retz.
in the bottom of the third inning might be equalized here by Cameron Cox in the top of the fourth.
Thrown by Rosbeck.
Curley has thrown 6 pitches, so he will not eclipse the mark set.
Here by Cameron Cox in the top
Smith popped out to, guess who? Michael Rampone.
6 pitches. So
Outside corner called strike.
the mark set. Smith popped out to, guess who? Michael Rampone. 6 pitches. So
Jim
outside
Smith, the
corner
catcher
called
for the
strike.
Invaders, takes a long time to step out, get himself adjusted, still has not stepped back in. Now finally does.
Jim Smith, the catcher for the Invaders, takes a long time to step out, get himself adjusted.
Next pitch
still has not
misses,
stepped back in.
1-1.
Now finally does. Jim Smith, the catcher for the Invaders.
96 degrees currently here in Tucson, Arizona. The highest temperature today was 101.
1-1. Now finally does.
Our humidity is about the same as it was last night, so it's going to feel even muggier tonight. 1-1 pitch misses way outside, and it's 2-1.
Our humidity
It was in the upper 60% range last night. I suspect it's pretty much in the same position.
Pitch misses way outside.
Thunderstorms in the area.
Our humidity. It was
Pitch swung on, fouled off to the left side.
Last night, I suspect it's
I don't know my left from my right. Whoa. Boy, we had a nice flash of lightning. It's in the distance, so don't be concerned that your ball player is going to get zapped by lightning.
Whoa. Boy, we had a nice flash of lightning.
2-0 in favor of the Tucson Saguaros as we are in the top of the fourth inning, 2 outs. And at bat is Jim Smith, who has a 2-2 count on him.
2-0 in favor of the Tucson Saguaros.
To the plate,
We are in the
swung on,
top
fouled
of the
off.
fourth inning, 2 outs. And at bat is Jim Smith, who has
Morita is in the on-deck circle.
2-0 in favor
Renee
of the
got a
Tucson
base hit
Saguaros. To the plate,
and
swung
sent
on,
Miller
fouled
in
off.
the second inning over to second base. But unfortunately for the
Morita
Invaders,
is
it
on
was
the
2
on-deck
outs, and
circle.
the Next batter was the pitcher, and he
Got a base
hit
hit.
it back to Cameron Cox, and they were out of the
Sam
inning.
Miller in the second
Next
inning
pitch
over
way
second
outside.
base. But
So we'll go to a
unfortunately
3-2
for
count here
Indians,
with the seventh pitch of the
next
at-bat
batter was the
coming up.
pitcher, and he got a base hit it back to Cameron Cox, and they were out of
And
the inning.
several lightning strikes in the
Next pitch way
distance over the right
outside.
field fence.
So we'll go to a 3-2 count here with the seventh pitch of the at-bat coming up.
Cox walks and throws. Swung on and missed, and a tag applied by Jesse Baker on the pitch in the dirt. But a 1-2-3 inning. So the Saguaros return the favor after going out 3 in a row in their part of the inning.
Tag applied by Jesse
And
Baker
nothing
on the
top
pitch
of
in
the
dirt. But a 1-2-3 inning.
fourth
So
inning
the
shows nothing
Saguaros
for
return the
Roswell,
favor
and after
after
3.5,
going out
it's
3 in a
2 to
row
nothing
in
in
their
favor
part
of
of the inning.
Tucson.
And nothing
No
at
hits
the
in the
top
inning,
of
so
the
2 total.
1-2-3 inning. Fourth inning shows nothing for Roswell, and after 3.5, it's 2
13 pitches on the inning. That's not too bad.
No hits in the inning.
48
so 2
overall
total.
for the game for Cameron Cox, and our little ones are going to run the bases up. We got a false start now.
13 pitches on the inning.
Up,
That's not
another
too
false
bad.
start.
48 overall for the game.
Some of
for
these little
Cameron
pumpkins
Cox,
are
and our
awfully
little
small,
ones are gonna run
and
the
they're
bases
off and
up.
running.
Got a false start now. 13 pitches on the inning. Up,
Chris
another
is
false
leading the
start.
pack and touches third
Some of
base
these little pumpkins are
and
awfully
winds up the
small,
winner of this
and
first to
they're off
third
and
thing
running.
if we're keeping track of winners. Boy, there are an awful lot of little people out
Chris
there.
is leading the pack
Sticky,
and touches
getting to third base with a
and
little
winds up
pumpkin
the winner
and
of this
someone
first
that's
to
not
third
much
thing
bigger
if we're
coming
keeping
right
track of
behind, and
winners.
now a teeny tiny
Well, there
one.
are an awful lot of little people out
Black
there.
pants, white shirt, finally figures out that she needs to
Getting
step
to
on third base,
A little
which she
pumpkin
accomplishes.
someone that's not much bigger coming right
Looks like
behind,
another
and
little
now a
girl in
teeny
the
tiny one.
Invaders
Black pants,
colors,
white shirt, finally
steps on
figures out
third
that
and
she needs to
goes off
step
the
on
field. Oh,
third
we got
base.
one that's
She
thinking
accomplishes.
she doesn't know quite where to go, and here comes mom after her.
Invaders
Gotta love
colors,
minor league baseball.
steps on third and goes off the field. Oh, we got one that's
Oh boy,
She doesn't know quite where to go, and here comes mom after her.
mom finally gets
Gotta
off
love minor league
by third
baseball.
base. Get to say hi to Sylvester, and they'll finally get them escorted off the field, and we will get started for
By third base.
the top of the fourth inning here.
Say hi to Sylvester, and they'll finally get them
Did I
escorted
say top?
off the field, and we
I
will
meant
get
bottom.
started
You got to
for
pay attention to what I'm thinking, not what I'm saying.
the top of the fourth inning here.
That's a cop out and a half, isn't it?
Should I say top of the field?
Well, I cannot get the radar to work on the weather. Well, I'm not on the weather channel. I'm on underground weather, and for some reason, it's not coming up.
Well, I cannot get the radar to work on the weather. Well, not
So
on
we
the
will
weather channel.
86 that endeavor for the moment and keep our eyes
For some reason, it's not
towards
coming
the right center field. And we've seen several bursts of lightning out there. Jesse Baker will lead it off, followed by Adam
86 that
Urbania and then
endeavor
Tanner
for the moment,
Geisel.
and keep our
Bottom of the
eyes
third, a
towards
sweeping
the
curveball
right center
swung on and
field.
missed by Baker.
And we've seen several bursts of
2 to
lightning out
nothing in
there.
favor of the
Jesse Baker
Saguaros. They
leading
got
it
2
off,
in the
followed by
first.
Adam
The
Urbania
first
and
inning has
Tanner
been fairly
Geisel.
kind for them in this
Bottom of
series.
the
They got
third,
1 in
a
the first
sweeping
last
curveball
night,
swung
and
on missed
unfortunately
by
didn't
Baker.
get any more. And that's why we are all
2 to
tied up
nothing
in the
favor of
series.
Saguaros. They got 2 in the first.
One game
The
apiece,
first
best of
inning has been
3.
fairly kind for them in this series. They got 1 in the
I
first.
think the umpire
last
got
night,
it,
and
and that's why the
unfortunately
catcher
didn't
is
get
going
any more.
out.
And that's why
And
we are all tied up in
there's
the series.
quite a camaraderie,
One game
although
apiece,
sometimes
best
it
of
gets a little
3.
contentious between the umpire and the catcher.
Umpire
If one or
got
the
it.
other of
That's
them
why the catcher
gets the
didn't
bell
go
wrong,
out.
I think what happened was the home
And,
plate umpire, Mark Good,
quite a camaraderie,
got the ball just
although
above the
sometimes
chest
it gets a
protector
little
and just
contentious
below
between
the
the
face
umpire
mask.
and the catcher.
And
one
if
or
it
the
got
other
him on that
gets
collarbone
the bell
there,
wrong, I think
that
what happened was the
stings.
home plate
Okay,
umpire,
we're
Mark
back and
Good,
ready to go.
got the ball just above the chest protector
Way
and just
outside
below
for a
the
ball.
face mask.
Baker in the first inning
And if it
got an
him on that
RBI
collarbone
sacrifice
there,
fly.
it stings. Okay,
He
we're
was the
back
one
and
that
ready
drove
to
in
go.
Ryan Retz, who had gotten around to third after a base hit of
Way
his own
outside for
on a
ball.
base hit by Jimmy
Baker
Heck,
in
and
the
that's
first
how the
inning
2 runs scored.
Got an RBI
Next pitch swung on,
sacrifice
fouled
fly.
into the screen.
He
1
was
ball
the one
and
that
2
drove in
strikes.
Ryan Retz, who had gotten around to third after a base hit of his own.
Well, if there
on
are
a base
stars
hit by
in the
Jimmy
sky
Heck,
tonight,
that's how the 2 runs scored.
they are
Next
blacked
pitch
out by
swung on,
very,
fouled into the
very,
screen.
extremely
1 ball
very
and 2 strikes.
black clouds, a lot of lightning activity in the distance over the right center field fence. And having trouble getting anything. This one lifted to right field, drifting over towards the line is Woodard, and he takes it in foul territory, and that'll be the first out of the bottom of the fourth inning. Urbania stepping in. Boy, he's had a year, but that year kind of came to an end to a certain extent in the All-Star game a couple of 3 weeks ago. Urbania got hurt there and has not been a consistent player. He's had a couple of pinch hit appearances, 2 of them in this series in which he's gone over, but still a potential danger to Roswell as he bats .396 and steps in here with 1 out in the bottom of the fourth inning. Bases clear. Very deep in left field is Morita. Pitch right down Main Street for a called strike. Took a little bit off of the fastball. Cody Bishop about straight away in center. And boy, I tell you what, I'm fascinated to watch Rochelle Woodard in right field. He plays very, very shallow. This one lifted very high. It'll come into the seats. Where's my big long stick with a net on the end of it? Somebody right behind home plate almost had that in the stands, almost had that ball hit him in the back of the head. I'm not exactly sure what he's doing down there. Oh, he's got a radar gun. I don't know who he's got the radar for. This one swung on and lifted very, very high to left field. Morita kind of dances around and finally plants himself underneath it and picks it off for the out. 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth inning, and that will bring up Tanner Geisel. Geisel struck out swinging in that second inning, and Geisel has certainly been tangled up here recently. The book on him is pitch him outside, and that's exactly what they've been doing. He went down on strikes twice yesterday, 1 looking and 1 swinging, and he has gone down swinging on that outside fastball. So let's see, Smith is setting up on the outside, and Rosbeck misses it for a ball. Geisel struck out on 3 pitches, 2 called on that outside corner, and then Rosbeck worked him a little bit farther outside, and Geisel went after it for strike 3. Again, set up on the outside, and the outside pitch is called for a strike. When you get in that situation as a hitter, you have to discipline yourself to step towards right field and clock it. So far, Tanner has not made the adjustment. This one right down Main Street, boy, that was a mistake. But the mistake was verified or helped out by the fact that Geisel swung through it and missed. Smith was set up on the outside part of the plate, but Rosbeck missed it, came right down the middle. This time they are set up once again on the outside. Swung on and hit through the hole. Over there to get it is Martini, but he can't quite corral it, and that'll be a base hit for Geisel. Lewis made a heck of an effort at it, went a long way to even get a glove on it. And of course, in a situation like that, had he gotten the ball, it would have been a spectacular play. So you don't penalize the player by giving him an error in that situation. Although the ball was in his glove, but as he was sliding and hit the ground, it scooted away a little bit, and a base hit for Tanner Geisel. 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. First pitch to Cameron Cox is down low. Geisel not a threat to run. Cox with a pretty good handle on the bat, 381 on the season. Grounded out to Martini at second in the second inning. Full big swing, and I think that caught somebody, either the catcher or the umpire. Well, nobody is rubbing anything and going ooch ouch, so we'll assume that it came off of a shin guard or something. 1-1 is the count. 2 outs here, bottom of the fourth inning. Geisel on first, Cameron the hitter. Second strike called. Cameron Cox, the pitcher for the Saguaros. 6-2 on the season. His first outing against Roswell back in June, he got cuffed around pretty bad. But so far he's had control here tonight. At the set. Swung on, fouled
First outing
over the
against
screen
Roswell
and
back in
into the
June.
walking
He got
area at the
buffed around
mezzanine
pretty
here
bad.
at Kino Stadium.
So far he's had control.
Count will
here.
remain 1-2.
Out to set. Swung on, fouled.
Apparently not having as much trouble with our echo tonight. I'm hoping some of the tweaking that we did at least aided that. Next pitch way inside. And it's a 2-2 count.
As much trouble with our echo tonight.
I'm afraid to increase the volume because every time we've increased the volume in the past, the echo has returned tenfold, and we've even gotten more feedback there. So something is going on internally. Waves at a pitch way outside and is out on strikes. So the end of the bottom of the fourth inning, nothing across for the Saguaros. So after 4 full, it is Tucson 2 and Roswell nothing. 1 hit in the inning, 4 so far for the Saguaros in the game.
Nothing across for the Saguaros. So after 4 full, it is Tucson 2 and Roswell nothing.
17 pitches on the inning for Rosebeck. That's the most with the exception of the first inning, which he threw 20. So 54 pitches through 4 innings for the Roswell pitcher. And we will go to the bottom of the fourth inning for the Saguaros.
So 54 pitches through 4 innings for the Roswell pitcher. We will go to the bottom of the fourth inning for the Saguaros. So 54 pitches through 4 innings for the Roswell pitcher. We will go to the bottom of the fourth inning for the Saguaros.
Rene Moreta will be followed by the pitcher spot, Rosebeck, and then Balkan. So it's 7, 8, and 9 in the order to start the top of the fifth inning for Roswell, New Mexico. The Invaders not on the board yet. They've been shut out through 4 innings by Cameron Cox, and the first pitch is a called strike. Moreta got a base hit in the second inning, and that sent a runner to second base and didn't get any farther than that. Ball 1-1.
Got a base hit in the second inning, and that sent a runner to second base. And
this one lifted high to Daly in center field. He's still on his horse, and he gets back there and grabs it about a step in front of the warning track. So a nice job by Burnell Daly in center field on a ball that was hit over his head. And that will bring up Ethan Rosebeck. Rosebeck hit back to Cox in the second inning, and that ended the second. Ethan with a .200 seasonal batting average. Geisel, for some reason, looking for a bunt here. Nobody is on. And the first pitch is a ball.
Ethan with a .200 seasonal batting average.
If Tucson wins it tonight, the series will start on Tuesday. Next pitch swung on and bounced right out in front of the plate. It's going to be a toughie. Cox over to get it and throws it away. And that will send Rosebeck over to second base, and he holds up there. Might have been a better thought to not have tried to get him, as Rosebeck took a full swing and topped the ball. And a two-base throwing error for the pitcher. Runner in scoring position with only one out here in the top of the fifth inning, and Brett Balkin steps in. Balkin is 2 for 11 on the series. In the third inning, he grounded out to Rampone at second base. Geisel is in on the grass at third base. Now he backs up a little bit. Retz is well back on the infield. And Rampone trying to keep Rosbeck a little bit busy out there. Looks like Cameron is a little perturbed with himself and throws the first pitch in for a ball. Can't lose your concentration here. You need to keep that form going, and Cameron did not have the form on that pitch. At the set, look at second. Runs a little high for 2 balls. First base is admittedly open, and a walk would not necessarily be a killer here, because that would put the double play in effect, with Morita getting an out on a nice play by Brunel Daly in center field, but Ethan Rosbeck topping a ball out in front of the plate. Cox came down and got it and threw it away. Foul ball almost catches the first base coach. He ducks underneath it. 2 balls and 1 strike. Cox came down and got it and threw it away. Foul ball almost catches. Nice crowd on a Saturday evening here for the Saguaros, as we are looking at the finale of a best of 3. I was mentioning if the Saguaros wind up winning it, the series final will start on Tuesday. If Roswell wins it, they will play a ball game on Sunday. Whoa, a high curveball, and just barely getting out of the way as Balkin. He had squared to bunt, and the count goes to 3-2. Curveball got away from Cox, and as Balkin was leaning in to bunt the ball, he suddenly registered head and ducked out of the way. 3-1, first base is open. Look at second, comes to the plate, misses low, and there'll be runners at first and second with 1 out. We'll go to the top of the order. This is not necessarily the guy that the Saguaros would like to have up there. Cody Bishop is 1 for 2 tonight and 5 for 12 on the series, so 6 for 14, and the Saguaros will have a meeting. Cody Bishop is 1 for 2 tonight and 5 for 12. Certainly appreciate you being with us tonight. Know that we have several people from Roswell checking in. Once again, we'll apologize for the low volume. At least that's what's going out of here. Certainly appreciate you being with us. And apparently the echo that we've been fighting with most of the season is not with us tonight. I don't know if some of my tweaking has done it, or the intermittentness of it. Is that a word? Intermittentness? Anyway, it comes and goes. And so that's kind of where we're stuck with it. Made several calls today. Also went on the chat line with the company that has the program that we use for broadcast, and got about 37 different suggestions. Made several calls today. Batter is Bishop, swung on, hit to the left side and foul. Love it. Hit my aluminum. Dinner bell. 37 different suggestions. And then you watch the ball ping pong around in the stands. Swung on, hit to the left side and foul. 3 people had a shot at it. It finally came to rest, and a gentleman in blue picked it up. And then you watch the ball ping pong 0-1. Change up, swung on and hit just over the screen and off my aluminum again. Love that sound. 0-2 on Cody. 0-1. Change up, swung on and hit. Another lightning bolt blasted over the right center field, way in the distance. Don't get me wrong, we don't have this going on right over the top of us. But there is thunder activity in the area. High and inside, kind of backed Bishop off the plate a little bit. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Got a couple of guys on and 1 out, so the double play is in, and the shift is on. This time it's not quite as much as normal. 1 ball and 2 strikes. As Morris at shortstop is behind the bag. Waved at, and boy, Cody is upset at himself with that one. Pitch was way outside, and he was fooled completely, just kind of waved at it. And that will be the third strikeout, actually the fourth strikeout recorded by Cox here in the ball game.
Way outside, and he was fooled completely. Just
a couple of errors have been committed behind Cody, or Cameron rather. One of them his own doing. So with a couple of outs, Luis Martini, he got on an error in the third inning, struck out in the first. 2-0 in favor of the Saguaros here in the top of the fifth inning. 2 runners on.
So with a couple of outs,
catches that outside corner for a called strike.
In the third inning, struck out in the first. 2-0 in favor of the Saguaros here in the top of the fifth inning. 2 runners on. So with a couple of outs, catches that outside corner for a called strike.
At the set, a look at second, a second look at second, and in. The ball is bounced very high. Cox gets it, fires it to first base, and that'll do it.
At the set, a look at second, a second look at second, and in. The ball is bounced very high. Cox gets it, fires it to first base, and that'll do it.
No runs across for Roswell in the top of the fifth inning. Still a shutout going for Cameron Cox, who has rather an elevated ERA at 5.27, but we saw essentially the same thing last night from Blake Oliver. He had an ERA of 6.88 and went 7 innings, giving up only 1 run. And it wound up with Roswell, New Mexico winning last night 2-1 after the Saguaros in 13 innings had won on Thursday 8-7. So this is the rubber match in the best of 3. No hits in the inning, so Cameron Cox has only given up 2 hits so far on the game.
Had won on Thursday 8-7, so this is the rubber match in the best of 3. No
16 pitches on the inning.
Cox has only given up 2 hits so
64 through 5 innings, and we'll go to the bottom of the fifth inning. And coming up for the Saguaros will be Burnell Daly, who really is kind of tantamount to a leadoff hitter, and then we'll go to the leadoff man, Michael Morris and Michael Rampone.
The bottom of the fifth inning, and coming up for the Saguaros will be Burnell Daly, who really is kind of tantamount to a leadoff hitter, and then we'll go to the leadoff man, Michael Morris and Michael Rampone.
Daly, Morris, and Rampone in the bottom of the fifth inning, and it certainly would not hurt Tucson's cause to get Daly on in this spot. He was hit by a pitch in the second inning. Stole second, but didn't get any farther. Drag bunt or a bunt down. Rosebeck to first, throws it away. It goes past and into right field. And Daly is thinking about going to third, but he changes his mind on a nice, strong throw by Rochelle Woodard.
Rosebeck to first, throws it away. It goes past and into right field. And Daly is thinking about
scorekeeper gives an error on the play.
Strong throw by Rochelle
Not
Woodard.
exactly sure that is kosher. I believe that Daly was there. The error might be the fact that he went around. Let's see, we got 4 hits for the Saguaros.
Not exactly sure that is kosher.
Well, they still have 4 hits up there. Quite frankly, if I was scoring this, it would be a hit for Daly and gets to second on the error by the first baseman, or excuse me, by the pitcher. Okay, well, Michael Morris is up there. He's 1 for 2 on the evening. Swung on and fouled off to the left side. Michael got a base hit in the first inning and on a strange play, and I still to this second don't know how in the heck this happened, but Rampone hit into what appeared to be a double play,
Michael got a base hit.
And when they brought it all back, high and outside, 1-1,
how in the heck this happened?
they left Morris at second base, and Rampone came back up to bat.
Double play.
So there must have been some sort of interference called somewhere along the line.
Outside, 1-1.
At any rate, Morris came around to score the first of two in the first inning for the Saguaros as they lead it 2-0. Morris looks at a high outside pitch, 2-1.
At any rate, Morris came around to score.
Wind is beginning to pick up, which is not a particularly good sign since it's coming from the direction that we've seen all the lightning activity.
2-1.
But to reiterate, it is definitely out in the area. Sharply hit to Martini at second base, and he comes up with it and makes the play to first for the first out of the inning. However, that sends Daly over to third base.
Sharply hit to Martini.
And with one out, the Saguaros have a runner on third with Rampone and Retz yet to follow.
However, that sends Daly over to third base. And with one out,
Rampone
the Saguaros have a runner on third.
has flown out twice, once to center to Bishop and once to left to Morita. Now, Daly is swift enough that if this ball kicks anywhere away from Jim Smith, the catcher, I suspect that Daly will be right there to, whoa, there's a big, huge lightning bolt off to our left now. But again, it is off in the distance. First pitch of ball reminds me of my trip to Florida. I'm a poor little Southern California boy. I'm not used to any kind of lightning or anything else along that line. So we fly to visit relatives in the panhandle of Florida. 1-0 pitch set to come this way. Caught the inside corner for a called strike. Anyway, we show up, and all over the television are tornado warnings, and I'm going, what? I want to go home. Had a big lightning storm in San Diego one time. Came through in the middle of the night. And it was highly, highly, highly unusual. One pitch swung on, hit past the diving third baseman Kaufman into left field for a base hit. Boy, Cody Kaufman gave it all he could, and the ball just evaded his glove by inches. It was sharply hit, but you've got to give credit to Kaufman for giving it the old college try. He really stretched out. But all of that aside, run is in, 3-0 in favor of the Saguaros, and Ryan Retz is up there with one out here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Retz got an RBI single in the first inning, flew out to Morita in left field. Slider misses inside for a ball. Big wide open stance for Retz. And Smith will set up on the outside part of the plate, and that's exactly where the ball went and where the called strike occurred.
Big wide open stance for Retz, and Smith will set up on the outside part of the plate.
At the set,
exactly where the ball went, and
Rosbeck giving up a run here in the fifth inning. Slider misses inside, and that gets a rise out of the Invaders bench.
Rosbeck giving up a run here in the
Thought
fifth
maybe
inning.
it caught that inside part of the plate, but
inside.
home plate umpire Mark Good says not a move to first base, nothing going on there. Rampone stolen 9 out of 14, but for the most part, the Saguaros are not a running team. Inside corner, and Retz kind of leans his head back with the standard wood.
9 out of 14.
Deep in left field is Morita. Medium deep in center is Bishop. And Woodard, of course, loves to play shallow in right field, and that's exactly where he's at here. 2-2 pitch. The runner goes. The throw down to second base, and right on the money, and he's out of there. Nicely done by Jim Smith.
2-2 pitch. The runner goes. The throw down to second base and right on.
So the second time in the ball game that we have seen catchers put the ball right on the money. Jim Smith got his right there, second out of the inning. Jesse Baker also
So the second time
put
in the
one
ball
right
game
on
that
as
we
we
have
have a
seen
flash of lightning
catchers
in the
put
north,
right
a
on the
swing and a
money.
miss, and that
Jim
will be
Smith
3
got
up and
his
3
right
down
there, second out of the inning.
after the run
Jesse
has
Baker
scored.
Also put one
And
right
so
on.
one run
Flash
across
of
for the
lightning in the
Saguaros,
north,
and we have,
swing and
after
a
5
miss,
innings of
and
play,
that will be
the
3 up
Saguaros
and
up 3
3
to
down.
nothing.
After the run has
2
scored.
hits in the inning, 6
And
overall.
so one run across for the Saguaros, and we have, after 5 innings of play, the Saguaros up 3 to nothing. 2 hits in the inning, 6 overall.
14 pitches on the inning for Rosebeck. 2 hits for a total of 6 on the game. And we will go to the top of the 6th inning with the Saguaros leading 3 to nothing rather. And the Invaders will send up 3, 4, and 5. That'll be Cody Kaufman, Jody Miller, Joey Miller, and Roche Woodard.
The Saguaros leading 3 to nothing rather. And the Invaders will send up 3, 4, and 5. That'll be Cody Kaufman, Jody Miller, Joey Miller, and Roche Woodard.
Cody Kaufman will step in now for his 3rd try. He is 0 for 2. Joey Miller will follow, and then Roche Woodard is the 3rd scheduled hitter here in the top of the 6th inning, with the Saguaros leading 3 to nothing. First pitch swung on towards center field. Daly cannot get there.
And then Roche Woodard is the 3rd scheduled
Base hit for Kaufman. Daly got a good jump on it, but it was a dying quail hit to left center field and a long way for Brunel to go. Joey Miller will step in. He walked in the 2nd inning and grounded out to Rampone at 2nd in the 4th. Joey 5 for 10. Actually, it's going to be 5 for 11 in the series up to this point. So he has been a tough out for the Saguaros. And now would be the time, as far as the Invaders are concerned, that Mr. Miller step up and get another base hit. Outside corner at the letter is a called strike. 64 pitches through 5 innings, starting the 6th inning here for Cameron Cox. Has struck out 4, walked 1, and given up no runs to this point. At the set, a look at first, and the pitch high and away. 1-1.
Has struck out 4, walked 1, and given up no runs to this point.
Cody Kaufman has taken off on a steal 3 times and has been successful too, so would not really consider him a running threat. Pitch on the outside corner for a called strike as a lightning strike comes a little bit closer. Got a note here from someone who very kindly was able to get a hold of a radar picture on their computer saying that this immediate area is under no particular threat of rain at this time. This one swung on and hit right back up through the middle. Rampone grabs it and swacks his glove on 2nd base as he loses his footing. So an unassisted out at 2nd base for Rampone for the first out of the inning, but that'll put Miller on first base on the fielder's choice. Woodard is the next hitter. 1 out here in the 6th inning with a runner on first. And Woodard 0 for 2, 0 for 6 in the series, 0 for 3 yesterday, and had a pinch hit appearance on Thursday. Around to bunt, pulled his bat back, but it was a called strike anyway.
And had a pinch hit appearance on Thursday.
Geisel down at third tantalizes the daylights out of these hitters by playing very deep.
Pulled his bat
And
back,
so a
but
lot
it
of
was
them
called
come around to
strike
bunt.
anyway.
Next pitch is swung on and missed. Took a little bit off the fastball.
Geisel down at third.
And
tantalizes the daylights
Cameron
out of
Cox
these
is
hitters
ahead
by playing
0 and
very
2.
deep. And so a lot of them come around to bunt. Next pitch is swung on.
Very
and
pleasing,
missed.
the number of people
Took
that
a
are
little
here
bit off
tonight.
the fastball. And
Pitch way outside.
Cameron Cox is ahead 0 and 2.
I think in part that we have to thank the local media
Here tonight.
for the opportunity because they have covered this series very well. Next pitch, off speed, misses down low and outside, and will square it up at 2.
For the opportunity because they have covered this series very well. Next pitch, off speed, misses down low and outside, and will square it up
2-2, outside corner, called strike 3 right at the knees. Needless to say, Woodard does not agree, but that won't change the picture. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. And power hitting Jim Smith will be up there. Unfortunately, Jim has not been able to display the powers. He's 0 for 2 tonight and 0 for 6 in the series, now 0 for 8.
And power hitting Jim Smith will be up there.
Jason Barr over at Channel 9 has been very generous with his coverage of the Saguaros.
He's 0 for 2 tonight
And over at Channel 13, David Kelly ran a nice story on us the other day to cover the game. So a big thank you to them. As more and more people are beginning to realize that there's a fine baseball club here back in Tucson. Outside corner slider gets him, strike 1. Smith is a threat, 353 on the season, and a plethora. How about that for a 25-cent word? Are you impressed? Next pitch, misses low, 1-1.
And a plethora. How about that for a 25-cent word? Are you impressed?
Jim has 15 home runs, but as we mentioned earlier, the fences in Roswell are about 20 feet closer to home plate. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes, so I suspect that the Invaders have benefited from that 20-foot distance, and the manager of the Invaders actually spoke to that when I talked to him before the game, saying that Thursday's game, the Invaders probably should have won it if they'd have been at home, because they sent several balls to the warning track in the outfield, which would have been home runs in their ballpark. Next pitch misses for a ball, and it's 2-2. 2-2. Couple outs here in the top of the 6th inning with the Saguaros leading 3-0. Outside just misses. Baker does a nice job of trying to frame the ball up to give a suggestion to the umpire that maybe it was a strike. Well, 3-2, so Ryan Retz will back off of first base and allow the runner on first, Joey Miller, to take off with the 3-2 pitch. So there's a possibility with a strong hit to the outfield that the Invaders might come up with a run here. Smith calls a timeout. Cox a little bit perturbed at it. Well, the pitcher is trying to disturb the rhythm of the hitter, and the hitter likes to disturb the rhythm of the pitcher. So that's one of the games inside the game. At the set, 3-2. Miller off at strike 3 on the outside corner, and I think that Jim Smith knew it. He was expecting something inside. That is the second strikeout in a row on a called third strike, and Cameron is sailing right along, picks up his 5th and 6th strikeout with a runner on here in the top of the 6th inning. Nothing across for the Invaders, and after 5.5 innings of play, it is Tucson 3, Roswell nothing, and we will go to the bottom of the 6th inning, a base hit in the inning, so 3 on the game for Roswell.
It is Tucson 3, Roswell nothing, and we will go to the
16 pitches in the inning for the second time in 2 innings for Rosebeck, and he is up to 80 pitches through 6 innings. Nothing going on in the bullpen, either bullpen, although the Saguaros bullpen is beginning to move around just a little bit, kind of their pre-pitching warm-ups. And we'll try to catch a number out there to see if somebody is up and ready to go.
Kind of their pre-pitching warm-ups. And we'll try to catch a number out there to see if somebody is up and ready to go.
Fourth hitter in the lineup will start off the bottom of the sixth inning for the Tucson Saguaros. Jimmy Heck, followed by Jesse Baker and Adam Urbania. Heck has the only base hit among the three. However, Baker does have an RBI sacrifice fly, part of the 2 runs in the first inning. Rosebeck swung on off the end of the bat and dribbled towards the invader dugout. Strike one. Heck 1 for 2. Boy, I still can't get over that home run he hit on Thursday. Wow, that sucker got out of here real quick. 0-1.
Heck 1 for 2.
Way outside. 1-1.
Still can't get over that home run he hit on Thursday. Wow, that sucker got out of here real quick.
4 for 11 in the series is Heck.
Way outside.
And that home run that he got, by the way, was a 3-run blast in that 8-7 victory for the Saguaros. Inside corner called strike. Heck kind of dove out of the way, but apparently had caught the black on the inside. And Mark Good, the home plate umpire, rang it up.
Inside corner called strike. Heck kind of dove out of the way, but apparently had caught the
reaching, getting it into the stands to save an at-bat. I'm thinking that if the Saguaros really thought about it, they would do more of reaching out and trying to poke a ball into right field than they have been, because Woodard plays very, very shallow out there. Ball squares it up at 2-2. Baker is the next hitter. 2-2. Lifted high to center field and short. Bishop on his horse. It drops in front of him. Heck leads off the bottom of the sixth inning with a base hit, and Jesse Baker coming up. Baker also has a home run in this series. His just barely got over the fence in left field. Still counts as 1.
Heck leads off the bottom of the sixth
inning. His 10th home run of the year.
Baker coming up. Baker also has a home run in this series. His just barely got over the fence in left field.
Jesse 392 on the season. He was over 400 for most of the season. From the right side. Swung on and lifted to right center. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Heck rounding second and headed to third. The ball is fumbled around in right field. And here comes Heck to the plate. The throw to the plate, he's safe.
Swung on and lifted to right center. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Heck rounding second and headed to third. The ball is fumbled around in right field. And here comes Heck to the plate. The throw to the plate, he's safe.
So Jimmy Heck displaying a nice amount of speed as Woodard in right field actually in right center. Got over there and cut it off nicely, but as he leaned over to pick it up, the ball rolled off of his hand, and Jimmy Heck had a full head of steam. He had a good look at the ball as he was leaving first base and saw that it was going to drop in, so he did not hesitate for 1 second, and he came all the way around from first base to score on the base hit by Jesse Baker and the error in right field by Woodard. And the Saguaros are up 4-0 in the bottom of the 6th inning.
On the base hit by Jesse Baker.
That will bring up Adam Urbania.
And the Saguaros are up.
Adam has flown out a couple of times.
In the bottom of the 6th inning. That will bring up Adam Urbania. Adam has flown out a couple of times.
Lifted high to right center field. Drifting back is Martini. He is under it and takes it for the out. Thought maybe that might be the same kind of hit that occurred last night, where a seeing eye base hit landed right down the right field line, right in the middle of Martini, Jody Miller, and Rochelle Woodard. But this time it wasn't quite deep enough to have that happen. And Adam Urbania, despite batting .396 through the season, is struggling here, trying to shake off the cobwebs, the rust, the dust, whatever you want to call it, as he was injured in the All-Star game and has not been himself ever since. Tanner Geiselin got a base hit in the 4th inning and struck out in the 2nd. They like to work Geisel outside, and that's exactly what they tried that time, but it was a ball.
Tanner Geiselin got a base hit.
1 run in, a runner at second base with an RBI single and an advance on the throw. Geisel 1-0. Ethan Rosebeck, the starting pitcher, still in for the Invaders. Swung on and fouled back to the screen. 1-1. A Saguaro win tonight will start the league championship series here on Tuesday. A win by Roswell tonight would start the series over in New Mexico tomorrow. 4 runs, 7 hits, as the Saguaros have overcome 2 errors to be in the position they're in. Foul to the screen once again, and it's 1-2. For Roswell, no runs, 4 hits, and they have committed 1 error. I guess they did not give an error to the right fielder on the score all the way from first base by Jimmy Heck. Not the first time that I've disagreed with an official scorer. At the set, Rosebeck checks second, comes to the plate, just misses low and outside, 2-2. It was a 2-2 pitch that got a base hit out of Jimmy Heck to lead off the inning. Baker with a single and a little fluff in right field allowed Heck to head all the way around from first base and score. It might have been close if the throw had been on, but it was high and away. And Heck slid in for the 4th run for the Saguaros. Way outside, and we'll have runners at first and second.
It might have been close if the throw had been on, but it was high and away. And Heck slid in for the 4th run for the Saguaros. Way outside, and
we have somebody working hard in the Invader dugout, and I guess they're going to call that a strike as he will come back. Takes a look at the umpire, asks a couple of questions. So I missed that one totally. And it is a 3-2 count now. Well, actually, Geisel missed it. It was a 2-2 count. You can't walk on a 3-2 count. I just assumed, like many people in the stands did, and gave a round of applause. 3-2. Swung on, lifted to right center field. Looks like Woodard is going to get over there. A tag up at second base. The throw coming to third is a little offline, and he's in there safe.
Swung on, lifted to right
Nice
center
throw
field.
by
Looks
Woodard,
like Woodard is gonna
but
get
it was
over
just
there.
a skosh
The
up
tag
the
out
left
at
side,
second base. The throw coming to third is a little
and Cody
offline,
Kaufman
and
could
he's in
not
there
get it
safe.
and get back. And so that will
Nice throw by Woodard.
account
but it
for the
was just
second
a
out
skosh
here
up the left
in the
side.
bottom of the sixth inning, but it sends Jesse Baker over to third base
And so
on
that
the
will
fly out to right field by Tanner Geisel.
account for
And the
second
pitcher,
out
Cameron
here
Cox, is up
in
there.
the bottom of the sixth inning.
He
But
is
it
0
sends
for
Jesse
2,
Baker over
but
to
he has
third
definitely
base.
shown this year that he can swing the lumber, and he
Fly
just
out to
does
right
there.
field by
Nice
Tanner
scoop
Geisel.
by Joey
And
Miller
the
at
pitcher,
first base
Cameron
on a
Cox,
short
is
hop,
up there.
and he will get the unassisted out
He's
at
0 for
first
2.
base,
But
and
he
that
has
will
definitely
close
shown
out
this
the
year
inning.
that he
But
can
in
swing
the
lumber,
inning,
and he just
one
does
run
there.
across
Nice
for the
scoop by
Saguaros,
Joey
and
Miller
after
at first
6
base
full
on a
innings of
short
play,
hop.
they lead it
He
4
will
to
get the
nothing.
unassisted out at first base.
2 hits
And
in the
that will
inning, so
close
the
out the inning.
Invaders
In
have
the
given
inning,
up 8
one
hits
run
so far.
across for the Saguaros, and after 6 full innings of play, they lead it 4 to nothing. 2 hits in the
15
inning,
pitches
so
by
the
Rosebeck in the
Invaders
inning.
have given up 8 hits so far.
83 so far through the 6 innings of work. And we will go to the top of the 7th inning. Cameron Cox apparently will come out for his 7th inning of work, and he will be facing the bottom of the Invader order, Rene Morita,
Cameron Cox apparently will
the
come
pitcher
out
spot, and
for
then
his
Brett
7th
Balkin. So
inning
we'll see
of work.
whether they send Rosebeck out
And he
for
will be
a
facing
7th
the
inning of
bottom
work or
the
not.
Invader order, Rene Morita, the pitcher spot, and then Brett Balkin. So we'll see whether they send Rosebeck out for a 7th inning of work or not. Rene Morita, the pitcher spot, and then Brett Balkin. So we'll see whether they send Rosebeck out for a 7th inning of work or not.
Well, it's a little too early to count our chickens here as the bottom of the order for the Invaders comes up. Rene Morita will lead it off in the top of the 7th inning, looks at a ball.
Well, it's a little
Cameron
too early
Cox
to
had a
count
very
our chickens
inflated
here as
earned
the
run
bottom of the
average at
order for the
5.27,
Invaders comes up.
and he
Rene
has given up
Morita
nothing
will lead
so
it off
far. This pitch
in the
swung
top
on
of the
and
7th
hit
inning,
into
looks at
foul
a ball.
territory. Same thing happened last
Cox had a
night
very inflated earned run average
in
of
that Blake
5.27,
Oliver had a
and
6.88
he has
earned
given
run
up
average,
nothing so far.
and he came
This
up
pitch
and
swung
gave
on
up
and
only
hit into
5
foul
hits
territory.
and 1
Same
run
thing happened last
to
night
pick up the victory and square this series
in
at
that
1-1.
Blake Oliver had a 6.88
Very
earned run
close
average,
inside.
and he came out and gave up only 5
2 and 1.
hits and 1 run.
So what it is they say about playoff baseball certainly fits into that category.
Very close.
A lot of players
inside.
step up, lifted to left field. Adam Urbania over near the line and catches it just as the ball goes into foul territory.
What they say about playoff baseball certainly fits into that category.
1 out in the top of the
A lot
7th
of
inning,
players
and the
step
pitcher
up,
spot
lifted to left
is
field.
up
Adam
next.
Urbania over near the line
And it looks
catches
like
it
they
just
will
as the ball
go
goes
to
into
a
foul
pinch hitter
territory.
here.
1 out in the top of the 7th inning, and the
Bobby
pitcher
Webb
spot
is
up next,
strolling up to the plate.
and it looks like they will go to
So
a pinch hitter.
33, Bobby Webb will come in, and that means that we will have a new pitcher here
Bobby Webb is
in the
strolling
bottom
up
of the
to
7th
plate.
inning. Ethan Rosebeck
And that means that we
will
a
have
new
gone
pitcher
6
here
innings. First pitch is a ball,
in the bottom of the
giving up
seventh inning.
4 runs. And we will see who the relief pitcher
Ethan
is.
Rosebeck
Still out of sight out
will
there.
have gone
1
6
ball
innings.
count
First
to
pitch
Bobby
is a
Webb.
ball, giving up
Webb
4
wraps it
runs.
hard, right center field, and it's going to reach the wall, at the base of the wall. And Webb will round first and head to second. Had a thought of going to third, but decided against it with a 1-out double to the base of the wall in right field. And quite frankly, right center actually, that may have been a ball that carried over the fences in Roswell. But fortunately for the Saguaros here in Tucson, it just hit at the base of the wall. Webb came in batting .388 during the season.
But fortunately for the Saguaros here in Tucson, it just hit at
And
the
that
base
will
of the
bring up
wall.
the 9th
Webb
spot
came
in the
batting
batting order. Brett Balkin.
during the season.
Balkin 2 for 11 on the series. Grounded out to Rampone in the 3rd and walked in the
And that will
5th.
bring up the 9th
This one
spot
fouled
in the
back to
batting
the
order.
screen
Brett
for a
Balkin
strike.
Balkin 2 for 11 on the series. Grounded out to Rampone in the 3rd and walked in the 5th. This one fouled back to the screen for a strike. Balkin 2 for 11 on the series. Grounded out to Rampone in the 3rd and walked in the 5th. This one fouled
Top
back
of the
to
7th
screen
inning, a
for
runner on
strike.
second and 1 out for the Invaders. Curveball misses inside. 1-1.
Top of the 7th inning, a runner
4
on
runs,
second
7
and
hits,
1 out
and 2
for the
errors
Invaders.
for the Saguaros. No runs, now
Curveball
5
misses
hits
inside.
and 1 error
1-1.
for Tucson. For Roswell.
Top of the 7th inning, a runner 4 runs, 7 hits, and 2 errors for the Saguaros. No
Pitch
runs, now 5
inside
hits,
misses.
and 1 error for Tucson.
2-1.
Roswell.
Webb is out at second base as a pinch hitter in the pitcher spot, so we'll have a new pitcher for Roswell in the bottom of the 7th inning. They're trying to chip
2-1.
away at this. 7, 8, and 9 is all they've got to go.
Webb is out at second base as a
Cox
pinch
with a
hitter
second look
in
at
the
second
pitcher
base.
spot, so we'll have a new
Comes
pitcher
down
for
low.
Roswell. In the bottom of the 7th inning, they're trying to chip away.
3-1.
7, 8, and 9 is all they've
Truth
got to
be
go.
known, not something critical here
Cox with the
in
second
getting a
look at
walk,
second
with the
base.
exception of Cody
Comes
Bishop
down
coming
low.
up.
In the bottom of the 7th inning, they're trying to chip
He is the
3-1.
on-deck hitter.
Truth be known, not something critical
Bishop
here.
named the most
in
valuable
getting
player
a
in the
walk,
Pecos
with the
League.
exception of Cody Bishop coming up.
Look at second, come to the plate, swung on and hit out towards
He's the
Morris.
on-deck
Holds the
hitter.
runner at second, goes to first, and gets the out.
Bishop named the most valuable player in the Pecos League. Look at second, come to the plate, swung on and hit out towards Morris. Holds the runner at second, goes to
So
first.
Webb
and
remains
gets the
at
out.
second base with the ball hit on the ground in front of him. Always have to let that line drive and ground ball go through when you're on second or third for that matter.
So Webb
And Cody
remains
Bishop up
at
there had a
second
base hit
base with the ball
in the
hit on
third
ground
inning,
in front of him.
but then was thrown out on a
Line
picture-perfect
drive and
throw
ground
by
ball goes
Jesse
through when
Baker
you're
to
on
the second
second or
baseman
third for that
Rampone. Off-speed pitch misses inside for a ball.
Base hit in the third
Of course,
inning.
Jim Smith, the catcher
But
for
then
the
was
Invaders,
thrown out on
returned
a
the favor in
picture-perfect
almost
throw by
identical
Jesse
fashion
Baker to
later
the
on,
second baseman Rampone.
and put a
Off-speed pitch
picture-perfect
misses
throw
inside
to
for a ball.
second base to cut down
Jim
Brunel
Smith,
Daly.
the catcher for the Invaders, returned the favor in
At the
almost
set, check
identical
of second,
fashion
1-0
later on.
pitch. Inside,
Put a picture-perfect
2-0.
throw to second base.
Martini is the on-deck hitter.
Daly.
Lewis is 0 for 3
At the
tonight.
set, check of second, 1-0 pitch.
3 for 11 coming into this game
2-0.
on the series, but now
Martini
3
is the
for
on-deck
14.
hitter.
Changeup floats high, 3-0. Cox stepping down off the mound a little bit, frustrated with himself right now.
But now 3 for 14. Changeup floats high, 3-0.
Heck is pretty deep in right field. Daly swung over to the left side. Next pitch on the inside corner for a called strike. And Bishop steps out, a little frustrated that maybe that should have been a ball. He was also frustrated in the 5th inning when he swung very weakly on a ball that was well out of the strike zone and was very annoyed with himself. 3-1 pitch, first base open, inside ball 4, and that will put 2 runners on. That is only the third walk given up by Cox in the ball game. The Saguaros do have a pitcher up, as we will take a second to have a discussion out on the mound. Can't quite see the number of who's warming up out there. I think it might be Matt Kelly. As we will take a second to have a discussion out on the mound. Top of the 7th inning, the Saguaros are leading 4-0. I think it might be Matt Kelly. 2 outs here, but runners on first and second. Lewis Martini is the hitter up there. Lewis is not a particular power threat. 2 outs here, but he has 3 home runs on the season. As the discussion is over with, and Cameron Cox will go to work on the second baseman for the Invaders in the top of the 7th inning. Couple of outs. Infield is back. Outfield pretty much straight away, although Heck and Wright has swung over a little bit towards the line. Pitch swung on and hit out towards Heck. Here comes the runner around third base and headed for home. The ball is not cut off, and it is safe standing up at home. And so an RBI single by Lewis Martini gets the Invaders on the board. And it sends Cody Bishop over to second. He kind of had to hold up there just a little bit to make sure that the ball got through. And around from second base after a double out there is Bobby Webb, and that will be it for Cameron Cox. Gets a nice round of applause from the stands here. And I believe that this is Matt Kelly coming in. Saguaros do not have a number on the front of their jerseys, so we'll have to wait for him to turn around. And I believe that this is Matt Kelly coming in. Saguaros do not have a number on the front of their jerseys, so we'll have to wait for him to turn around. The umpire out there showed that it was 15. And I know that Kelly's number is 6. Probably after all this time this season, I had to recognize their faces. And I know that Kelly's number is 6. Wait for him to throw this first warm-up pitch, and hopefully he'll turn his back to us just enough. Recognize their faces. Yes, it's Kelly. So Matt Kelly will come in relief of the starter. Wait for him to throw this first warm-up pitch, and hopefully he'll turn his back to us just enough. Yes, it's Kelly. Kelly has been in both games. Will come in relief of the starter. Not a surprise out of the Thursday night game, as the teams used a total of 53 pitchers. I say that only partially in jest. 9 pitchers for the Saguaros, 4 of them in the 8th inning, and 7 pitchers for the Invaders. Kelly was also in for an inning last night. So Matt will try to shut out the inning. 2 are out, 2 are on, men on first and second. The score in the top of the 7th, 4-1 in favor of the Saguaros. Both runners would be credited to Cox if they come around. So we'll see if he can get a help from Matt Kelly. Kelly had given up no earned runs through about 4 or 5 appearances, but then went on the road and apparently over there gave up a few runs. He has a 3.85 run average, but his whip, now that is walks and hits per 9 innings of pitching, is 0.6, so it's less than 1 per inning. So the relief pitcher for the Saguaros out there to try to stem the tide with 2 on and 2 out in the top of the 7th inning. Very nice crowd tonight. Probably the largest that we've had with the exception of the 4th of July. They don't give me crowd counts. First pitch misses outside for a ball. Very nice. Cody Bishop dancing around at second base had a huge lead. So if anything happens to the outfield, more than likely Bishop will be home. Sweeping curve misses. 2 balls and no strikes. Still activity in the Saguaros bullpen as the same out in the bullpen for the Invaders.
2 balls and no strikes.
Cody Kaufman is up. Swung on and ripped to the side, but foul. Left side. 2 balls and a strike. Kaufman got robbed at both ends of a 4-3 putout in the first inning. Rampone made a brilliant job of getting to the ball, and the offline throw was handled very nicely by Retz. Big swing and a miss, 2-2. Boy, Kaufman really pumped at that one. Cody got a base hit the last time he was up in the 6th inning, but was 0 for 3 prior to that. Was one of 6 strikeout victims by the starter Cameron Cox, who has been relieved by Matt Kelly. Woo, just missed inside. Kelly was walking off the mound, 3-2, and that is problematic because both runners will be on the way with the pitch. And anything into the outfield might just tie this thing up. 4-1. Well, it would be a 1-run deficit. Pitch on the way, swung on and missed, strikeout. Threw him a big sweeping slider. As Kelly records his first strikeout in a very critical situation with 2 runners on. 1 run across for the Invaders here in the top of the 7th inning. As we go 6.5 innings into this ball game, it is Tucson 4 and Roswell 1. 2 hits in the inning for the Saguaros. Check that for the Invaders, and they now have 5 on the game.
Tucson 4 and Roswell 1. 2 hits in the inning for the Saguaros. Check that for the Invaders.
For Tucson, in the bottom of the 7th inning will be Burnell Daly, followed by Michael Morris and Michael Rampone.
For Tucson, in the bottom of the 7th inning will be Burnell Daly, followed by Michael Morris and Michael Rampone. For Tucson, in the bottom of the 7th inning will be Burnell Daly, followed by Michael Morris and Michael Rampone.
Well, Bobby Webb will stay in the ball game and play third base for the Invaders, and coming in to pitch will be number 36, Thomas Huddleston.
Well, Bobby Webb will stay in the ball game.
Huddleston is 1-5 on the year, 4.64 earned run average, and a 1.2 whip. First pitch to the ninth hitter in the lineup for the Saguaros. Brunel Daly is outside for a ball. Daly got a base hit in the fifth inning and came around to score on an RBI single by Michael Rampone. A bunt down pretty strong but foul. Even if it had been fair, Bobby Webb was right there and probably would have gotten Daly out without regard to Brunel's speed. 1-1 is the count. We're in the bottom of the seventh inning. Roswell got on the board in the top of the seventh to narrow the deficit to three runs. 4-1 is our count. Webb on the infield grass. The Invaders have gotten good play out of their third baseman. This one way outside as Brunel squares around to bunt. And the count is 2-1. 1 run. The board says 6 hits. I say 5 for the Invaders. 4, 7, and 2 for the Saguaros. Outside corner, and Brunel is a little miffed that ball was called out there. He's been struggling with that outside pitch throughout the playoffs here.
4, 7, and 2 for the Saguaros.
Needs a discipline to step and hit it to right field, but that's kind of tough sometimes. Way outside, but swung on and fouled back. So Brunel saves his at-bat. The center fielder got hit by a pitch in the second inning and got that base hit. Went around to second base on the error by the pitcher. Moved to third base when Michael Morris grounded out to Martini at second. Swung on and fouled into the stands, so we'll go to the sixth pitch, rather the seventh pitch of the at-bat with a 2-2 count. Best of 3, all tied up at 1-1. Saguaros win. They go to the championship series on Tuesday. Roswell wins. They go to the championship series over in New Mexico on Sunday, tomorrow. Ooh, boy, I tell you what, Brunel just barely saved his at-bat. I bet that ball didn't catch the end of his bat by a millimeter.
Over in New Mexico on Sunday, tomorrow.
2 balls and 2 strikes. 8th pitch of the at-bat.
I bet that ball didn't catch the end of his bat by
Brunel just needs to get it into play because his speed will do something for him.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Changeup swung on way outside and missed. First out in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Just needs to get it into
Brunel upset with himself going after that outside breaking pitch again.
Way outside and missed.
Michael Morris comes in. He has grounded out his last 2 at-bats to Martini at second base, but prior to that in the first inning, he got a base hit and came around to score on an RBI single by Ryan Ratz.
Grounded out his last 2 at-bats to Martini at second base, but prior to that,
Left-handed hitting shortstop,
base hit
throws right, bats left,
and came around to score on an RBI single.
and that bodes well from a physical standpoint. Fouled off.
Left-handed hitting shortstop.
Love it. Hit that aluminum.
Right, bats left.
In golf and in baseball, your power pulls from your forward arm, which would be the dominant right hand for Morris. Looks at a ball outside, 1-1. Golf the same way. If you're a right-hander and taking up golf, you need to go get yourself some left-handed clubs. Inside corner for a called strike, 1 and 2.
Golf the same way. If you're a right-hander and taking up golf, you need to go get yourself some left-handed clubs.
Morris 371 on the season. Has 5 hits in this series. That one missed down low and drew a groan out of the Invader dugout, 2 and 2. See a few Invader colors sprinkled about the stands here, but mostly locals.
Invader dugout.
Swung on and missed. Catcher dropped the ball, and they'll make the put out at first base. So 2 consecutive strikeouts recorded by the relief pitcher Thomas Huddleston. And we'll go into the bottom of the 7th inning here with a score of a strikeout, 2 of them in a row by Huddleston, and a score of 4-1 in favor of Tucson. Michael Rampone will come up. Rampone got an RBI single in the 5th inning and tried to steal second base, and Jim Smith put one right on the money. I mean, you could not have asked for anything better. And all the second baseman Martini had to do was hold on to the ball and wait for the sliding runner to come right into it. First pitch in the dirt for a ball. Actually, Rampone got a fairly decent jump from first base on the attempted steal, but like I said, Jim Smith put it right there. Changeup misses, catches the inside part of the plate and draws a look at the umpire marked good by Michael Rampone. Looks aren't going to change him there, young man. Step back in. You got a 1-1 count on you. Nobody on. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Fouled off, saved, got a second strike there. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Nobody on. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th.
Lightning bolts all around us, but they are a distance away as the thunderstorms come into the Tucson area in the late afternoon and early evening, as they do. Well, I don't know, 9 o'clock isn't necessarily considered to be early evening, so through the evening, let's say. Way outside, even count, 2-2. Ryan Retz is the on-deck hitter. Has hit 3 times at bat. Rampone a hit in 3. At the set is Huddleston. Outside, and he says that he swung at it or it was outside corner, not sure. Didn't really indicate from that, but I think the way he rang it up that it was a called third strike. So 3 strikeouts. Huddleston comes in and does his job here, and no runs for the Saguaros in the bottom of the 7th. And after 7 full innings of play, it is Tucson 4 and the Invaders invading from Roswell, New Mexico 1. No hits in the inning, 8 total for the Saguaros through the game.
7 full innings of play, it is Tucson 4 and the Invaders invading from Roswell, New Mexico
18 pitches. And generally a strikeout pitcher, which apparently Mr. Huddleston is. They do throw a lot of pitches. So we'll go to the top of the 8th inning, 4-1 in favor of the Saguaros. And the Invaders will bring up Joey Miller. This is going to be his 4th at-bat, and in all 4 situations he has led off an inning. Miller will be followed by Woodard and Jim Smith.
And the Invaders will bring up Joey Miller. This is going to be his 4th at-bat, and in all 4 situations, he has led off an inning. Miller will be followed by Woodard and Jim Smith. And the Invaders will bring up Joey Miller. This is going to be his 4th at-bat, and in all 4 situations, he has led off an inning. Miller will be followed by Woodard and Jim Smith. And the Invaders will bring up Joey Miller. This is going to be his 4th at-bat, and in all 4 situations, he has led off an inning.
Well, a kind of interesting turn of events here as the manager for the Saguaros is sending out his 10-0 pitcher, Steve Borkowski, who threw on Thursday evening.
Well, a kind of interesting turn of events here as
possibly he will be the setup man for possibly Tyler Herr. First pitch misses inside.
On Thursday evening. Kind of interesting turn of events here.
Miller on the game walked in the 2nd inning. Grounded out to Rampone in the 4th and got on a fielder's choice in the 6th. Swung on and fouled down to the right field side. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Walked in the 2nd inning. Grounded out to Rampone.
Mentioned that Borkowski is 10-0 on the season and a 2.72 earned run average.
1 ball and 1 strike.
Went 6 innings in that game on Thursday evening. Next pitch misses down low. And it is a 2-1 count. Kind of unusual because if you're going to win this game, you're going to have your ace, who is Borkowski, coming back out on Tuesday when the series starts. ball, 3-1.
Because if you're going to win this game, you're going to have
They've gotten fairly decent relief help out of Wesley Parrish and Tyler Herb, but the decision has been made to bring Borkowski out here as we get quite a lightning show. A two-hopper to Rampone takes it out on the outfield grass and retires Miller. And Miller now is 0 for 3 on the game, having walked in that first inning.
A two-hopper to Rampone.
One out in the top of the eighth. Roche Woodard also hitless tonight, and he is followed by Jim Smith, who is also hitless. Between the two of them, there are 3 strikeouts there.
One out in the top of the eighth. Roche Woodard also hitless tonight, and he is followed by Jim Smith.
Another ball gets away in left field, so Urbania goes over to rescue it and get it back to the pumpkins that are sliding up and down the grass in the left field area. First pitch swung on, but straight back is the foul tip. And in baseball parlance, that generally means that the hitter was right on the pitch. So not fooled by it at all. Woodard called out on strikes his last time up. The next pitch is fouled away to the right side. And the right fielder for the Invaders is down 0-2. So far, Roche is hitless in the series. 0 for 7.
And the right fielder for the Invaders is down 0-2. So far, Roche is hitless.
And he looks at a called third strike again. Second out of the inning.
And he looks at a called third strike again. Second out of the inning.
2 outs here. And Jim Smith will apparently be called back. And this is the pitcher's spot. When they made the change there, Caillou Gaspar is going to be the pinch hitter.
And this is the pitcher's spot. When they made the change there,
First pitch fouled off for a strike.
Gaspar is going to be the pinch hitter. And this is the pitcher's spot. When they made the change there,
First pitch fouled off for a strike. Next pitch misses, and the count will go to 1-1. Caillou, 365 on the year.
And the count will go
Outside corner for a called strike. He has not batted in the series so far.
Outside corner for a called strike.
Way outside for a ball.
He has
2-2.
not batted in the series so far. Outside corner for a called strike. Way outside for a ball.
He was 1 for 6 in a game on Thursday night, playing right field. Next pitch floats high for a ball, 3-2.
He was 1 for 6 in a game on Thursday.
Urbania playing relatively shallow and towards the line in left field.
For a ball, 3-2.
Brunel Daly in center has swung around to the left side. Way outside for a 2-out walk as we get a clap of thunder from the distance.
Brunel Daly in center has swung around to the left side. Way outside for a 2-out walk as we get a clap of thunder from the distance. Brunel Daly in center has swung around to the
Not exactly sure why the sound is bouncing around so much. Just a total mystery. We have tweaked more things than high fly ball and short center field going out as Rampone, but coming in is Brunel Daly and he grabs it for the out.
Just a total mystery. We have tweaked more things than high
Third out of the
ball
inning,
and
nobody
short
across.
center field going out as
And
Rampone,
after 7.5 innings of play, it is Tucson 4 and Roswell 1. No hits in the inning, so Roswell continues with 5 hits on the ball game.
And after 7.5 innings of play, it is Tucson 4 and Roswell 1.
Borkowski came in to pitch that inning and got 4 batters to the plate, got 3 of them out. So we'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and for the Saguaros, it'll be Ryan Retz. He will be followed by Jimmy Heck and then Jesse Baker.
So we'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and for the Saguaros, it'll be Ryan Retz. He will be followed by Jimmy Heck and then Jesse Baker.
Well, both managers pulling out all the stops as Eric Gleese, who finished up last night 2 innings of no-hit ball, is out there for the Invaders. And for the Saguaros, they had their ace pitcher, Steve Borkowski, out for an inning. So both teams trying very desperately to get that championship series. Wrapped hard towards the hole and through. Retz with a base hit. First pitch swinging was Ryan Retz, and he gets his second hit in 4 times at bat. Jimmy Heck is the next hitter. He is 2 for 3.
First pitch swinging was Ryan Retz, and he gets his second hit in 4 times.
5 for 12 in the series is Heck.
The next hitter, he is 2 for 3.
A couple of bright flashes of lightning.
First pitch swinging was Ryan Retz, and he gets his second hit in 5 for 12 in the series is Heck. A couple of bright flashes of lightning.
In doing the crude count, the lightning strikes are probably 2 or 3 miles away. We've had nothing in the immediate area. Look at first base. Gleese to the plate, misses inside.
2 or 3 miles away.
In this particular area, storms coming up from the south and southeast
Look at first base.
will kind of hug along the Catalina Mountains that are far away from us, but straight away center field, basically. Next pitch misses high, and it's 2-0. And then they have a tendency to kind of swirl around where the eastern part of Tucson and the northeastern part of the city get really blasted.
Next pitch misses high, and it's 2-0.
So we have been dry here the whole time, but definitely a lot of activity in the area. 2-0 pitch on the way. Swung on, hit foul right side.
Really blasted. Next pitch misses high, and it's
2-1.
Dry here the whole time, but definitely a lot of activity in the area. 2-0 pitch on the way.
Ryan Retz is at first base with a leadoff single.
2-1.
We are in the bottom of the 8th inning with the Saguaros on top.
2-0 pitch on the way.
Retz will run if he gets a
First
chance.
base with a leadoff single.
Not much of a leadoff off of first. Keep an eye on him. He does not go. Pitch on the outside corner, a called strike, and the count evens at 2-2.
Retz will run if he gets a chance. Not much of a leadoff off of first. Keep an eye on him. He does not go. Pitch on the outside.
At the set is the relief pitcher, Eric Gleese, for the Invaders from New Mexico. Roswell takes a look at first. 2-2 pitch on the way. Swung on in the dirt, and they've got Retz hung up at between the bases, and he is out at second base.
Roswell takes a look at first. 2-2 pitch on the way. Swung on.
This is the second time that Retz has run into a base running error. Last night, he went to third at a time that he needed to have stayed home and got out at third.
This is the second time that Retz has run into a base running error. Last night,
Heck swung at the pitch and missed, so a strikeout there for the first out. And then Retz got caught betwixt and between and was thrown out at second base. So all of a sudden, 2 outs here, and Jesse Baker looks at a high floater for a ball. Jesse got an RBI single in the 6th inning, got an RBI sacrifice fly in the first, and flew out to right field. Slow changeup inside the line, foul. Boy, that was close. Bobby Webb, to his credit, was guarding the line, and that's exactly what you do in late innings. You don't want to give up anything.
Bobby Webb, to his credit, was guarding the line, and that's exactly what you do in late innings. You don't want to give up anything.
Saved his at-bat with one off the tip of the bat. Lightning strikes probably about 2.5 to 3 miles away, but that one was a very, very wide one.
Saved his at-bat with one off.
Nothing threatening in the immediate area, so you don't need to worry about your ball players. Very deep in left field is Morita. Change up off the end of the bat and fouled. Bishop medium deep in center, and we've mentioned this several times that Rochelle Woodard in right field likes to play in the hip pocket of the second baseman. I'm exaggerating a bit, but he plays very shallow right field. Outside, nice stop by Smith.
Likes to play in the hip pocket of the second baseman.
Well, they don't have Smith in the ball game. Let's see who they have as a catcher. Really tough to see. 2-2 is the count because they have all that equipment crisscrossed across their back. This one hit on about a 3-hopper out to Martini, who picks it up and throws the runner out. So the third out of the inning, despite a hit in there, that's the 9th hit for the Saguaros. Nothing across for Tucson in the bottom of the 9th, and we go bottom of the 8th. I'm sorry, and we go to the top of the 9th inning with the Saguaros on top of it 4-1.
Across for Tucson in the bottom of the 9th, and we go bottom of the 8th. I'm sorry, and we go to the top of the 9th inning with the Saguaros
and set to try to get the
4-1.
Invaders back in the ball game. Will be the bottom of the order, in which Bobby Webb pinch hit, and he will be in that 8th spot. Then it'll be Brett Balkin and up to Cody Bishop to try to get back in this ball game.
In which Bobby Webb pinch hit, and he will be in that 8th spot. Then it'll be Brett Balkin.
You can see the flash of lightning there on the screen.
Try to get back in this
That
ball
was
game.
one that was a little bit closer than we've had in the past.
You can see the flash of lightning
So
there.
I don't know whether this is getting close enough to begin to make a difference. By my count, it's still 2.5 to 3 miles away. But that doesn't mean they can't have fringe activity somewhere around.
Whether this is getting close enough to begin to make a difference. By my count, it's still 2.5 to 3 miles away. But that doesn't mean they can't have fringe activity somewhere around.
So Tyler Herr will come in and try to pick up the save. And the only reason that it might be a save situation is because one run was scored by Roswell in the 7th inning. So 3 runs.
Pick up the save.
If there's a 3-run differential
Might be a save situation.
and you hold off the other team, then you wind up getting the save.
In the 7th inning, so 3 runs. Pick up the save. If there's a three-run differential.
Tyler has 3 saves to his credit already on the season. So we go to the top of the 9th inning and see if the Saguaros can hang on and start the playoff series on Tuesday here at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium, or if Roswell can come back and pick up the victory and start the series in New Mexico tomorrow. Right now, Trinidad, Colorado is hung up in no man's land, waiting to find out which way they're going to go. Excuse me, which way they're going to go.
Is hung up in no man's land, waiting to find out which way they're going to go. Excuse me, which way they're going to go.
So Bobby Webb steps in there. He came in as a pitch hitter in the 7th inning and promptly slapped a very strong double and came around to score. That is the only run turned in by the Invaders here. The first pitch by Tyler Herr, relief pitcher, is outside for a ball, 1-0. At the set, Herr comes to the plate, fires it right at the knees for a called strike, 1-1. Balkan is on deck, and then we'll go to the top of the order of Cody Bishop, and I'm sure that the Invaders would love to have 1 or 2 runners on base when Bishop comes up.
Balkan is on deck.
Webb gets backed up by a fastball high and in, 2-1.
The Invaders would love to have 1 or 2 runners on base when Bishop comes up. Balkan is on deck. Webb gets backed up.
Nobody on, top of the 9th inning. First batter of the inning for the Invaders, and the pitch is way outside, and Tyler Herr goes to a 3-1 count. Last thing you want to have happen is have your relief pitcher come up and put the first batter on. 1 pitch away from that possibility. Down low, and the first batter is on first base, and that will bring up Brett Balkan. Unlikely that he would be bunting in this situation. And I would suspect if the Invaders were a little bit deeper with infielders, they might put a runner in for Webb. The assumption is that the big man does not move quite as well as other players might in the situation. Balkan looks at the first pitch, called strike, right at the knees.
The assumption is that the big man does not move quite as well as other players might in the situation.
Webb has not stolen nor attempted to steal during the season. Interestingly enough, the flags have moved around where they are blowing back in this direction, which is not a good sign. Big looping curveball misses, and the count is 1-1.
Interestingly enough, the flags have moved around where they are blowing back in this direction, which is not a good sign.
The storms are to our
curveball misses, and the count is
northeast,
1-1.
and now the wind and the flags are blowing from that direction. That's not a good sign. Swung on, tapped back to the pitcher. Herr gets it over to first base and gets him just by a half step, and here comes the argument.
The flags are blowing from that direction. That's not a good sign.
Herr knocked the ball down, and then as he scrambled and got a hold of it, he had a very weak throw to first base, and the Invaders are upset.
Herr knocked the ball down, and then as he scrambled and got a hold of it,
Runner goes over to second base into scoring position, does Webb.
And the Invaders are upset.
And at the top of the dugout steps, Brett Balkan is still chirping at the base umpire out there, Ryan Heimer. But it will stand, 1 out, runner on second base, and to the top of the order, Cody Bishop. First pitch to Bishop, an off-speed pitch down low for a ball. Bishop walked his last time up, got around to second base, but they couldn't bring him in. Struck out in the 5th, got a base hit in the 3rd, and grounded out in the 1st. Outside corner called strike.
Got around to second base, but they couldn't bring him in.
The shift is on for Bishop. Morris is to the right of second base instead of the left. Geisel is in the hole at shortstop. This one lifted high and short, and it will be Morris that will pick it off, and that will be the second out of the ninth inning, top of the ninth inning.
In the hole at shortstop. This one lifted high and short, and it will be
Luis Martini, with the last chance here with 2 outs, steps in there. He got a base hit his last time at bat, but was 0 for 3 before that.
Luis Martini.
And the predominantly Saguaro crowd is on its feet, looking for a close here by Tyler Herr, the fourth pitcher being used by the Saguaros tonight.
And the predominantly Saguaro crowd is on its feet, looking for a
Certainly appreciate you watching along the line. We will be here on Tuesday evening if this holds up for the Saguaros. First pitch, blistering fastball right at the knees. We don't have a gun on that, but that one certainly looked in the neighborhood of upper 90, not upper 90s, but upper 80s or low 90s. Might have even been in the mid-90 range. Herr at the set, comes to the plate. Curveball just misses inside on that slider.
Upper 80s or low 90s. Might have even been in the mid-90s.
Herr is not even taking a look back at second base. Bobby Webb is on second. To the plate. Outside corner at the knees, called strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Saguaros leading 4-1. Top of the ninth inning. The rubber game of the best of 3 series here.
Called strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Saguaros leading 4-1. Top of the ninth inning. The rubber game of the best
Timeout
of 3
called
series here.
as Martini steps out of the batter's box.
Timeout called.
4-1 in favor of the Saguaros. 2 out, top of the ninth inning. Runner at second base. Outside, misses. 2-2.
4-1 in favor of the Saguaros. 2 out, top of the ninth inning. Runner at second base. Outside, misses. 2-2.
At the set, Tyler Herr, 2-2 count. Swung on and missed, but it was foul tipped. 6th pitch of the at-bat.
At the set, Tyler Herr, 2-2 count.
2 or 3 Saguaros came bounding out of the dugout thinking that it was a swinging third strike, but Martini got just the tip of his bat on it, and Jesse Baker unable to hang on. 2-2, 2 outs, top of the ninth. Swung on and missed, and that'll do it.
And Jesse Baker unable to hang on. 2-2, 2 outs, top of the ninth. Swung on and missed, and that'll do it.
Well, I tell you what, doesn't matter what level of baseball you are, the little boy in the player comes out at a time like this, and that's exactly what is happening. A big mob scene at the pitcher's mound. So the Saguaros will come into town on Tuesday, and they will be playing Trinidad in the best of 3. I realize that we are changing our modus operandi here. Normally we're on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday routine. But they are going to be right here at 7 o'clock Tuesday, Wednesday, and if necessary on Thursday. Sure hope that you join us. Realize that a lot of the folks that are along the line with us here are from Roswell, and I will have to say that the series, not only this series, but the season series between these 2 teams has been monumentally entertaining. Most of the games very, very competitive, and our hats off to the Roswell Invaders for their outstanding display of play here in a game that was really very, very finely played. All 3 of them, as a matter of fact. So congratulations to Roswell on their fine season, and we will look forward to that competition next year, as the Tucson Saguaros have already announced that they will be back here
congratulations to Roswell on their
So
fine
that
season.
is the
We
ball
will look
game,
forward to that
4-1
competition
in favor
next
of
year as
Tucson.
the Tucson Saguaros
They
have
got 2
already
runs
announced that
in
they
the
will be
bottom
back
of the
here.
first inning, added 1 in the 5th, added another one in the
So
6th.
that is the ball game.
Roswell
4-1
could not
in
break
favor
through
of
until they got to the
Tucson.
7th inning.
They got 2
Then in the
runs
7th
in the
inning, they
bottom
left
of
a
the
runner in
first
scoring
inning,
position.
added 1 in the 5th,
In the
added
8th inning,
another
they
one
got
in
a
the
runner
6th.
on, but it was just at
Roswell
first
could not
base.
break through
In the
until
top
they
of the
got to
9th
the
inning here,
7th
they got a
inning.
runner to second
And in the
base.
7th inning,
But
they
the
left a runner
pitching
in scoring
triumvirate
position.
here
In
of
the 8th
Cameron
inning, they
Cox,
got a
Matt
runner
Kelly,
on,
Steve Borkowski,
but it was just
and
at first
Tyler
base.
Herr
In the top
held
of
the
the 9th
line.
inning here, they got a runner
We've seen
to
a couple of
second
really
base.
outstanding
But
pitching
the
performances,
pitching
not
triumvirate
only
here,
last night with
Cameron
Blake
Cox,
Oliver and
Matt
his
Kelly,
fine
Steve
performance,
Borkowski,
but
and
even
Tyler
Randy
Herr
Keene and
held
his
the line.
subsequent relief
We've seen a couple
pitchers
of really
did a fine
outstanding
job,
pitching
only giving up 2 runs
not
overall.
only last
And
night
then
with
the
Blake
very
Oliver and his
entertaining
fine
game on
performance,
Thursday,
but even,
in which the
Randy
Saguaros
Keene
went
and
13
his
innings to finally
subsequent
pick up the
relief
victory
pitchers
on a
did a
booming
fine job,
double
only
to the
giving
base
up
of the
2
wall in
runs
right center
overall.
field by
And
Ryan
then
Retz.
the very
And that's
entertaining
where we
game
came
on
up to
Thursday,
the 2
in which
games
the
victory
Saguaros
for
went
the
13
Saguaros
innings to finally
against
pick up
1
the
for the
victory
Invaders.
on a booming
Well, that
double
does
to
it
the
here
base of the
on
wall
the
in right center
webcast.
field
Thank you
by
very much
Ryan
for being
Retz.
there. This is Alan
And
Scott
that's where we
saying
came
good
up
night,
to
and
the
we'll look
2
forward to
games
seeing you at
victory
7
for the
o'clock
Saguaros
on Tuesday
against
evening.
1 for the Invaders. Well, that does it here on the webcast. Thank you very much for being there. This is Alan Scott saying good night, and we'll look forward to seeing you at 7 o'clock on Tuesday evening.